little house, right? And they had loads of furniture that they collected over the years without chucking out, and they've moved to this small house, so they just had too much furniture, right? And they had this double bed, and that was for, like, you know, when friends come round and that, they can stay there. But the problem was he wanted to sort of put these wardrobes in the bedroom, right?
Right.
That went on either side of the bed.
Sort of wrapped around the bed.
Yeah, but because the room was so small, he thought, I can sort that out.
Yeah.
Right? And he sawed the bed.
He sawed the bed?
He sawed the whole thing, so you've got, like, your mattress, your bed, and everything.
What,
and
he just sliced some off?
Like a big sandwich, just cut a bit off the edge.
Cut the crust off.
About how much is that, would you say?
About 8 inches, 6
About
inches.
8 inches.
But hold on, but that
Well, he
won't
cut
work. Because it'll all fall out the side, and then what happened to the springs and all the supports and stuff?
He
It'll just
sorted it
collapse.
out. It didn't all come out and that. I mean, it's not the comfiest bed. but the weird thing is, he did it, and even though it's only like that 8 inches or whatever, it totally ruined it. It's
Yeah.
like,
Well, of course it would.
no, but what do you think I mean? I don't mean it ruined it as in it looks a mess.
No, it would have been uncomfortable.
Not even that, though. Just the fact it's that little bit shorter. It's like, God, for 2 people, this is hard work now. This is like, you haven't got enough room, even though it's only 8 inches.
Why did he build the wardrobes first, without measuring, putting the...
I think he did all that, and then thought, oh, it'll easily fit in there, and it didn't, so he had to sort of saw a bit off the bed. But it's just weird how only 8 inches...
Did he use one of those electric saws?
Yeah.
And there
That's
was just,
amazing.
presumably there was just kind of
What
sort of
did it-
material and wood just flying everywhere.
What did he do with the legs? Did he have to move the legs in a bit?
He moved the legs. Looking at it, right, once it's got, like, the quilt on it and everything, you wouldn't know. I was like,
Sure.
yeah, that's alright, you've done a good job.
Yeah.
And I went to bed at night, he's like, you know, sleep well. Got up in the morning after having about 45 minutes sleep and said, something not right with that.
Yeah.
And he
You
goes, "What do
really are
mean?"
your father's son, aren't you?
I said,
There's something not
I said,
right
it's
with
not
that.
right. And he said, oh, well, I said, what have you done? It doesn't seem the same. And he said, oh, I had to shorten it, sort of thing, you know, to fit in the gap. I said, well, I can't sleep in it. I said, and there was a big kerfuffle. My mum was saying, look, you have our bed then, and we'll sleep in that one. And my dad was like, sod that,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ruined.
you know.
Some idiot cut it.
So there was a big debate going on about where we should sleep, and I was saying, look, you know, I only come and see you like every couple of, you know, probably once every 6 months.
I'm not being funny, but next time we go home, can I film it? Just for, Channel 4 or something?
Well, you know, I mean, the Osbournes is not on at the moment. The
Yeah, I know.
Pilkingtons.
Be...
Now that would be extraordinary.
Oh, can we film it?
I haven't really been following what's going on because of other like personal.
Well, yeah. What's the
issues.
big? Okay, what's the
Just
big thing?
my boiler's playing up still. Sick of it.
Your what?
My boiler.
Your boiler.
The boiler that heats the water up and stuff. Such it doesn't.
You know what I'd do in that situation? I'd instantly get a repairman out to sort it out.
Done that twice. It was 80 quid for him just to say, yeah, it looks like you need a new one.
Why did you get a new one then?
Call out. Because then you wondered, are you meant to believe him or is he out to sort of...
Well,
try
he's
and
the
get more
expert.
money? Yeah, but is he? It's
Well, I
like you're
dunno.
meant to get a second opinion, aren't you? Like,
So that was the first time then. So what was the second time? Who came out the second time?
same fella.
And what did he say?
Well, I
What
thought
did
you
he
were going to
call
get a second opinion.
I know,
Yeah,
but
and
I
also-
called up the company and they just sent him again because it.
Well,
I
call a
think-
different
What was,
company.
what was,
No,
what was
no.
his second opinion? 80 quid?
I undercharged you. It's 150.
No, because they must look in the book and sort of go, oh, you know, Harry went round there or whatever, and they must think, well, he went there last time, so he knows the situation,
Yeah.
and got the same fella again.
Well,
so he'd
well
said,
and
look,
got the same opinion,
same,
I assume.
Same answer, yeah.
What, so okay, so it's so twice you've called someone out. They said you need a new boiler. He had the overalls on, holding a monkey wrench again. He came in a van.
Yeah.
He charged you. He's the professional. Why haven't you got a new boiler?
Because then he went on to say that, you know, it's a dangerous setup I've got. It shouldn't be set up the way it is. It's dangerous. Something about gas leaking out of it. He said, you don't sleep close to this, do you? And it's like, well, the bedroom's there. It's not a big flat. You've seen it, Steve.
Yeah.
Everything's en suite, isn't it? So he went on to say,
Everything's en suite.
so anyway, so he's just sort of said, look, you know, he doesn't want to touch it. He said, you need to get someone in who can sort this out for you, but...
What, and it took him 2 visits, 160 quid to figure that out?
Yeah, this is what they do, isn't it?
So what's his advice?
He just said, you know, there are people out there who will touch it if you pay the right money.
Well, okay, so you're going to get an expert in who does this thing and sorts it out, so...
Well, no, I called up my dad.
Oh, yeah.
He always knows someone who
first
can
man to
sort stuff out. And he said, oh, one of your cousins is a boiler man. And, yeah, they're coming round, but I've never met them. and it turns out that person, because like the whole family, you know, I'm not into sort of keeping in touch with people.
Sure.
I haven't spoken to my brother for like, I don't know, 12 years, and sister about 15 years and that. So the idea of this cousin, who I mean, he might as well not have said he's my cousin, because I'm not going to know him anyway. I mean, that last fella, Harry, might as well have been related. So they're going to turn up, and now it turns out that because they haven't seen the rest of the family, they're going to like use this as a reunion.
Oh, what? So they're all going to come round whilst
they're all coming round
whilst he fixes the boiler.
Yeah, and I hate it. I hate family things anyway.
So they're going to come round and just look at you?
Well, yeah. Apart from the one who's fixing it, he'll be fixing it, and the others will just be sat around, sort of going, "So, how have you been?" It's like, well, where do you start? I haven't seen. Seriously, I mean, they are strangers. When they buzz, I could be letting anyone in. They buzz the door.
And so you're going to entertain them all in your flat?
Well, I said to my dad that I might just say that I've got to go to a meeting, let them in, and then shoot off.
I love that. So now they're strangers that you're letting in your flat, and you're not even being there. That's the best thing. That's the security.
Throughout my life so far, I've never planned for anything, right? It's just always happened.
Yeah.
The time, you know what I mean, being in plays at school, never planned it, but when I did it, I went down a storm.
It was
that sort of thing.
yeah, we all remember that.
So,
As I remember, you did Little Donkey.
Did Little Donkey, yeah.
And then later, someone was filming at the back. Was it your dad's mate?
My dad's mate. Well,
Yeah, and on the camcorder, he listened to it back, watched him playing it. His dad says, just off camera, what does he say?
I don't want to say it because I'm in charge of the show and I'd be irresponsible.
He looks like a right twat.
So,
And so he gets home, listening, watching that, and then here's his dad just off camera go, he looks like a right twat.
yeah, alright, yeah.
What are you worried about? Your dad was also nervous, got a bit of shock last week, didn't you?
Just a little bit.
His dad tuned in.
To the show?
Yeah. And Karl's never told him that he actually speaks on the show. He just said, I just press the buttons, right? He's kept him from it. You used to do radio before and you never told him, did you? It's because the little donkey incident.
Yeah.
When he went along, so...
Was that the twat incident?
Yeah. And so he's never told him since, but they promised not to listen, haven't they?
Well, my dad said, my mum said to me, don't worry, don't be put off this week, because, you know, I've told him he can't listen, but I hear my dad in the background kind of going, bollocks. So, he might be listening. So that's extra pressure. Plus a camera crew in.
I know. You don't like it, do you?
This is good training for MTV, because then he can watch you on TV. I mean, what's he going to make of that?
Oh.
Yeah.
Does he know you're bald?
Yeah.
You don't keep your hat on when you're with him and say, oh no, I'll just press the buttons.
No, it's just, you know, it's like when I was in any plays, I didn't tell him.
No.
Any sort of parents' evening, I never gave him the note.
Really?
Yeah.
So what did the teachers think? You were just an orphan?
No, just on an off chance. My mate's dad spoke to me dad once, I think, and sort of said, oh, you going to school to see how, you know, your kid's doing? Is that what you're talking about? So there's a parents' evening, so he went...
He said, what kid?
He went to one, and that's when Mrs. Matthews said I'd never be a high flyer.
How wrong was she?
Yeah.
Well, I think we should call Mrs. Matthews and make her eat her words.
Well...
So, is any of your family left in Manchester? Because they all moved away, didn't they? You came here, your dad's moved to Wales, for Christ's sake. Well, your family are all around the... Brother joined the army to get anywhere. Just take me anywhere.
I don't know where he is.
His sister's moved away, so no
Ireland.
one... Yeah, there you go, you see? So, that's just one family. That's one family who love Manchester.
Exactly.
Alright?
Tell you what, Steve.
Go on.
I did find out in the week.
Yeah.
World record, right? Person with the longest trump.
With the longest what?
Wind. Fart.
Right.
Right? 2 minutes 42 is the world record.
Okay.
Right?
Well, I'm immediately thinking about a relative of yours who I'm sure did longer than that.
Who still lives in Manchester.
Auntie Nora.
Now, Auntie Nora did it for how long? 5 minutes, wasn't it?
Starfight for 5 minutes. But, unfortunately, she was the only person in the room. Whereas I think, which one's alive, Ross or Norris McWhirter?
I don't know, actually.
He has to be there.
Yeah, I think he actually has to
He'd have to be there.
Would he want to be there?
Well, he'd have sort of equipment, and looking at his watch, going, finish, he goes, yeah, he goes, well that was 4 minutes,
Did she go from like a size 10 to a size 6? Did she show some old dresses?
Like a hovercraft.
Exactly.
In a big dress.
Yeah.
Just slightly off. Yeah. So, it has to be invigilated.
But again, you know, how was the Guinness Book of World Records one originally? I mean, who was supervising that? Who was
He said,
monitoring that?
I can fart for 2 minutes. They went, well, we've got to see this. Went round, and, he just probably let it rip. It's probably circular breathing. He's probably sort of sucking in air and swallowing it as he's going. And it's a continuous one, isn't it? It's not like, yeah.
I mean, it said, you know, that's how Nora's happened, me Auntie Nora. She had a little bit of wind, it went on for like 2.5 minutes.
Sure.
That's when she called me mum.
As it was still going on.
And said, there's something not right here.
I'm leaking.
She said, oh, can you send, your dad round? You know, my dad.
Yeah.
Saying to me mum.
With a cork.
And,
With a lighter. I think this would be the best one
I
ever.
want to show the kids something.
he said, I'll be there in a bit, get the windows open. But what it was down to, because I was talking to
Is
my
she
mum
the
and
one
dad
with the
about it.
split tennis ball?
Yeah.
Can we not talk about that again?
I was talking to my mum and dad about it, saying, you know, why do you think it happened and that? And it's because she never chucks food away, right? And she'll sort of mash it all up. And she's got all these ice cream tubs in the fridge that are just full
Cabbage
of, like,
water.
old, mashed up food.
Really?
And she prepares everything. Right, she doesn't work, she's retired now, she's got nothing to do all day, but everything's got to be ready
Still
for
calls
her.
in sick.
Do you know what I mean? Everything's got to be done. Even though, if you're going round to her house, and you're going there for tea, it's like, what time are you coming? And it's like, well, I don't know, maybe 5, maybe 6.
Yeah, you're late, because you're late when you have to meet us at 5 or 6.
Do you know what I mean? That's
But
what...
so, when you say she mashes up food, she literally takes the remnants of a dinner, could be sort of some...
Anything.
And just smashes it all up into a...
Yeah.
And then what does she do with it?
Put it in the fridge, and she's got in the fridge, it's like January, February, March, she's got all these ice cream boxes that are just full of...
But she doesn't... She reheats it and eats it.
Oh, then she, yeah, puts it in
I
a
thought she was
pan.
just keeping it as a
No, no,
souvenir
no.
of each meal she'd had.
No, put it in a pan, warm it up.
Oh,
And that's what it is, it's just...
A lot of vegetation, is it?
Yeah.
Why does it only happen once, or does she save it up once a year, just let it go?
I don't know. Well, she is mad,
Yeah, she sounds potty.
She doesn't answer the phone anymore in case there's a burglar. Checking if she's in. It's like, well, answer it and then they'll know you are in and they won't come round.
Yeah.
Mental.
Well,
Mental.
they can't be sure then, can they?
What do you mean?
Well, if there's no, okay, well, maybe it's someone just... They are in, but they're hiding, whereas if Auntie Nora goes, it's Auntie Nora. We can she'll be farting. We can sneak in when she does a loud one. Because we'll be aware of the telly, what's stopping it? It's got a valance round it, it's got caught on the cat.
I always remember, I used to work nights.
Yeah.
Right? And it was when my brother just sort of got kicked out of the army.
Yeah.
And my mum and dad went away on holiday, so he was staying with us.
He's got to write a book, this bloke.
And,
You have got to write a book, Carl. Go
and I
on.
came back,
Yeah.
and there was women everywhere. There's women in every bed in the house. I thought, where am I going to sleep?
Had he set up a brothel? What?
So, no, it's just a bit of a one.
That's
so-
impressive, though. A girl in every single bed. I mean,
It was mad. So, I slept on the sofa downstairs, and I didn't sleep that well.
yeah,
But I slept on it before when it was facing a different way,
sure.
and I had a good sleep.
So for you, that's
So-
proved the worth of feng shui.
Yeah, I think there's something in it.
Do you honestly think there's something in it, though?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Okay, well, just read a few of the others, Rick.
Okay, well, I mean...
When you went home and the house was full of women, why did you sleep on the sofa? Why did you not pop upstairs and sort of,
Into a warm bed.
yeah, with a woman? Were they dressed, or is your brother still sort of have those kind of parties, or?
I haven't seen him for years.
Sure. Where's he
really?
living now?
I don't know.
Okay.
What's his name?
Mark.
He's not known as, like, Moss Side Mark.
Because that could be a clue.
10 Dawlish Road Mark.
He's never out of prison long enough to get a nickname.
Hey,
Really?
steady on, it's getting a bit heavy, isn't it?
God, is this what's motivated a lot of your anxiety?
Yeah.
Oh, we were talking about the news just now, and there was a story I heard in the week. I think it was on the radio, and I don't know all the details. But what I heard was that a number of, I think it was Falkland, maybe Gulf War veterans, were, I think, suing or complaining to the government because they wanted compensation for post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but it seems to me that if you're in the army and you're a soldier, a certain degree of trauma is kind of inevitable. I mean, after all, if you're any good at your job, you are going to see people getting killed. So I don't understand what the ins and outs of it are. I don't know why.
No, when he came back and Tony Blair met him and go, alright, well not really, no. Go on, what's the matter? Well, if there was people shooting at us and everything, it was all muddy. Well, calm down, don't cry. Well, I will.
There was a drill sergeant just kept shouting, saying, "Look at you, stupid boy! Where's this
he's
gun's
got a
not
train,
clean?" And I
hasn't
just
he?
cleaned the gun, and it was fine. And now he's telling me to clean it again.
Yeah, the boots, they were shiny.
fine, he was
Well, he's
showing.
got to do that. It's more
His
discipline.
neck was as big as his head.
Well, yeah, but you don't know what they, you know.
I
you
don't know what the ins and outs of it are, but
what you got to do is make sure you know what you're going into. That's what I do. You got to check the small print. So if I was, going over to like the Falklands or the Gulf, I'd put man and go, will it be horrible? I go, you at the back, yes. Will it be horrible? It will be horrible. Yes, it will be horrible. There will be shooting and lots of death and everything. I go, right. I'm not going to go. And they go,
Exactly.
okay then. Okay.
that should be fine. Yeah.
Should be fine. Yeah, just like that. Is anyone else scared about this? Pretty much all of us. Okay, then we won't send anyone then.
Exactly.
My brother went into the army, right? Because he couldn't get a normal job, and my dad said, if you don't get a job by such a date, that's it, son. You're going in the army. And, so when was the Falklands? Was it about
81?
Right, and he joined back in like 81 or something. And I don't know, he was in Aldershot or something.
Oh yeah.
And he wrote back to my mum saying, a bad time to join, bad time in this. So she wrote.
What bad time to join? That's so sweet, Karl, isn't it? That's like, dear Dad. Yeah, well done.
Don't know if you've noticed.
Yeah. I was on the dole, that's for sure. Thank you for joining. A month before the Belgrano.
Anyway,
go on.
My mum called up, spoke to the sergeant, and said, "Can you leave him out of this one?
Can you leave him out of this one? What, the Falkland War?
He's only just joined," and she called him Chuck, which he got done for. Like she's one of them. I think it's a northern thing, like saying, "How are you, Chuck?"
Yeah.
And she called the sergeant Chuck, and the sergeant said to my brother, "Your mum, she's called up and asked if you can not go," which of course, we'll see how it goes. But can you
What?
tell
What
her,
do you mean? Why did the sergeant even entertain this?
Well,
Pilkington, come here. Your mum's been giving me a bit of earache. Now listen, tell her I've told you, but can you call her, because she called me Chuck and everything. Can you call her and say you don't mind? Well, not really. Oh, please, because I've promised her say you want to go. No, please, say you want to go. Why was he entertaining this phone call?
probably because he was new.
What?
Because he was new to the army, I suppose.
Who? No, I mean the
your brother.
sergeant.
I don't know. Maybe they do that.
So what happened? He didn't go in the end?
So he didn't go. No.
You can't do.
But that's ludicrous.
I love it. That we went over the top. Pilkington,
No,
I've got a note. Yeah. Is this really your mum? Yeah. Okay. No, this seems to be in order.
Because I noticed it says, I do not want to go into the army. I don't want to go and fight. And it's crossed out and it's good. My mum says don't
Yeah.
go. Now, you didn't write this yourself.
No,
did you,
no, my mum
Pilkington?
wrote this. Okay.
You definitely
Pilkington,
wrote this yourself.
Your excuse. You're going to have to fill envelopes.
No, I'm sure if he was needed, he would have had to go. But I think they made a bit of a special effort. They sort of said, "Oh,
Well, it wasn't conscription anyway. Oh no, I was.
But were the other soldiers going around just going,
Pilkington.
no." He ended up being a mechanic in there, and he got kicked out for going for a packet of fags in a tank.
what?
Now wait a minute. Do you mean he nipped down the shops
Yeah.
in a tank?
Yeah.
I don't believe that, Karl. You've
Honest to
made that up.
God, that, and he went off with the sergeant's wife, so that didn't help, and he ended up getting kicked out.
Sorry, your brother's a genius.
I love this. First of all, he gets a call from his mum, go and let him up, and he goes, oh God. Then he goes, where's Pilkington? His mum's on the phone. Where is he? He's near your house, Sergeant. Near my house? Well, why is... No reason. Well, when he comes back, when he's finished, tell him his mum called. And can he get me a packet of fags? Tell him to walk this time. This
Wow.
is ludicrous.
So the sergeant found out that he was sleeping with his wife?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was
Did
quite
your
young.
mum phone out and say, let him off? No,
Let him off this
court-martial him.
time. Can he... Yeah. That's fantastic.
But he misses it. I mean, I haven't seen him for about 11 years, but ever since he came out, he's just kept getting into trouble and that. And the army, people slag it off, but I think if you're a certain type of person, it's good for
It
you.
didn't straighten him out, did it?
No.
He was going down the shops in a tank, he was shagging someone
No, but
behind their back.
it's
Yeah.
really weird. It's like back then, he was like a proper adult, and he had a house, and he collected crystal with his wife and that. And now, he hasn't got any of that.
Has he got the wife?
No,
Has he got the crystal?
don't think he has.
And he hasn't got the
I
house.
seriously haven't seen him for about 11 or 12 years. So I haven't even
It
spoken to
always
him.
Carl's stories always start off nice and funny, and then they just leave me empty and slightly depressed. I don't know whether to hug him or shoot him, put him out of his misery. Can we take Carl to the... phone in if you think I should take Carl to the vet and have him put down, because it's just too stressful. So will your girlfriend be proud of you now? You performed a PhD graduate
It's a
there.
bit annoying because she's not in London today. She's in Sunderland or something, or Newcastle,
Right.
working.
So she won't know what your greatest triumph. She saw last week's and you got an E in history, and now this week you come through
Yeah.
with some great praise that Mrs. Matthews never, laid upon
Even
you, did
looked
she?
at. No.
No, just said you won't be a high flyer. Eh? You've shown them, haven't you?
You never know. I mean, I had mates who, my mate Colin Makin, who
Sure.
did the disco with me.
Pilkington's making music, yeah.
Pilkington's making music.
Yeah.
He was dead brainy. I don't think he's up to much these days.
Sure.
You
Just-
can't plan it.
Yeah.
Just goes to show.
Well, I mean, you can do there's a certain amount of planning you can do. I mean, driving a tank down to the shops with some fags,
Yeah.
never going to mean you're a high flyer. You know?
And that woman who you picked up in your black cab, she's in a circus now and she
Yeah,
can
happy.
fly, which is good. Am I confusing that with a film? You went to see a film this week, didn't you?
Mm.
What did you
go
see?
The Monsters Inc.
Oh,
Did you
yeah.
have a little argument? What was the argument about? Did you have an argument with your girlfriend or something? Because of
Well, the history thing took over last weekend, to be honest, when you found out my results. That was like the talking topic of most of the weekend. And,
why? What did she say?
you brought it on yourself. Why didn't you take it serious?
Was she annoyed or upset?
Well, she just sort of said, "You can learn. Look, you learnt Rasputin.
Mm.
If only you did
You've
that
done
at
that.
school."
You've done
Do you know what I
Rasputin.
mean? She said, "You can do it if you're told to." She said, "It's only because Ricky's told you to read the book that you're reading it."
Does she think we're sort of like taskmasters?
Does she think we bully you?
Nah, she knows it's just a laugh.
Yeah. What did you tell your parents about your?
Nope.
No. Never.
Because they never even questioned where my results were, so I don't want to tell them that, I didn't get any.
No. How did they do it at school?
I didn't have them back then, did they?
Right. When was that, Karl? The Middle Ages.
Middle Ages.
I don't know. Like I say, back then it wasn't about getting results and that, was it? It was just about learning trades. I mean, my dad, right, he can, put windows in his house,
Yeah.
do plumbing.
He should. It's dark, isn't it? He's done that first of all. Right.
So he can do what? He's got a multitude of different
Yeah, he
jobs.
can do all sorts. Do you know what I mean? If there's a problem in my flat, I can call him up and say, this isn't working, what should I do? And he'll say,
Is that our brain surgeon?
he'll say, oh, fix it.
Sure. So what about Monsters Inc? What did
Yeah.
you make of it?
It's alright. It is a kid's film. It sort of annoys
Is
me.
it?
How can we prove we're live?
My mum's budgie died last night. Don't laugh about it. Don't laugh.
Only your mum that can confirm that.
Yeah, no one knows whether your budgie died or not. Was he pictured holding a copy of today's paper? What are you talking about, Karl?
I can't prove anything then.
You're so right.
Next question.
Also, you gave us the devastating news last week that just before Christmas, your mum's budgie died. How was Christmas in your household? Was it?
Little bit down. With any death, it's always sad, isn't it? No matter what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Budgie.
Well, I mean, how long she had it? Probably lasted about 8 years or something, which is pretty good, isn't it, for a budgie?
Right.
Yeah, I think so.
Came unexpected. It wasn't ill.
Right.
And what I spoke to her the other day, and I said, how's it going? Because on Christmas Day she was down.
Yeah.
Been calling her up every day. And I spoke to her the other day and said, how are things? And she said, well, the other bird that's in the cage, she's got some sort of parrot that's in the same cage as it.
Right.
It's been a bit down.
Sure.
It's missing its mate. So what she did, she'd kept a few feathers from the budgie that died, right? She got a rock, a couple of sandwich fasteners, stuck the feathers on the rock. The other bird's happy now.
Wow.
Now I know that your mother explains everything.
And if you ever die, we just get a tennis ball, stick it on the end of a broom, she'll be happy.
Carl's a little bit less stressed now. There's camera crew have gone, his dad's not listening, we think.
Well, yeah, who knows? Who knows?
But, you're chilled.
I tell you what though, my mum was loving it. Do you know Rockbusters?
I love. Do I know Rockbusters? I love Rockbusters. I think I dream of it.
She was taking part. I mean, she doesn't know a lot of the new bands and that, but she made some up for some older bands and that.
Oh, she did some herself.
She made some herself, sent them in the post.
So are you going to use those today?
She's not quite got the hang of it. So,
Unlike her genius son.
Have you got them there? Can we hear what they are?
You keep talking a second then.
I'm quite excited. I mean, if they're even approaching, say, the genius of Wet Knee Houston.
Yeah.
And, there was another one which was something to do with a trench, Karl. What was that?
Oh, that was Dandy Warhols. That was a good one.
Dandy Warhols.
I think that was his finest moment. Yeah.
Incidentally, I've got an email here from someone called Sauda, if that's a he or a she, but let's assume it's a she, just for glam's sake.
Yeah.
She says she saw an old man eating a Twix last week, Karl, so that blows your theory out.
I'm not having it.
Okay. So if you are a bloke, he's calling you a liar. So maybe you want a little rumble later?
In fact, if you are a bloke, he's calling you a girl.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah, then. These are ones that my mum's made up.
Brilliant.
Right, just in case you're a new listener, I'll give some initials out and a cryptic clue. And it makes up a band, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Or a solo artist.
Yeah, not so much cryptic as what you're thinking. Well, go on.
My mum sent this one. This group would be good at doing your hair.
This group would be good at doing your hair.
TP.
Is there a group called the Hairdressers from the 60s?
This group would be good at doing your hair.
TP.
TP. Is it the something?
The Platters.
The Platters.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so that's alright.
Nice.
Let's have a look. This group sound like dinosaurs.
Group sound like dinosaurs.
T-Rex.
T-Rex.
Yeah. I see what you mean. They're not so much cryptic, are they?
This group.
Don't leave her alone. They're good.
This group likes being by the sand and the sea.
This group likes being.
They're the Beach Boys, boy.
Beach Boys.
This band are called the Beatles. The Beatles.
Hang on. We just have
What else you got?
It's funny because one of them that she's done, I'm actually doing today. I thought of in the week.
Right?
So,
Is it the same clue?
It was, yeah.
Wow,
But
great minds think alike.
Here's
So
the
this
last
is obviously
one.
coincidence.
Here's the last one from her. This guy sounds superb.
This guy sounds superb.
The Bachelors.
Glenn Campbell.
That's good.
I mean, it is always, almost always, and you found that out, I discovered this, it's always the Tudors and Stuarts. There's no fear for them not coming up. Now, what do you already know about them? You must already know stuff about Henry VIII and Elizabeth.
No, because it's too long ago to even get interested in. Do you know what I mean? You can't.
Is that why you
relate
didn't-
to it.
Okay.
The Anderson thing, it was like, God, you know, I bet my mum and dad were in an Anderson shelter. You know, this is interesting.
What, when they...
Oh, my granddad would have, like, had something to do with this. But the Tudors, it's like, I don't know even if they had a family back then.
Play a record! We come back
Hang
to
on,
this.
hang
Sorry,
on.
Steve,
because I need to introduce my the new feature.
Yeah.
For the
I
record.
don't know if I had a family back then.
Carl, listen, let me just ask you now, right? If you can finish this sentence, we've got a chance. Divorced, beheaded, died. Divorced, beheaded.
Died. What is it?
We just need to do a little bit of work, but otherwise I think you're going to be fine. It's how you remember what happened to Henry VIII's wives.
They're little...
Divorced, beheaded, died. Divorced, beheaded.
It's like spam. Support... What is it? Support, protection, anchorage, movement. That's how
You're going to that's nothing to do with the Tudors
No,
and
nothing to
Stuarts.
do with the skeleton.
Yeah, see, no, we're not doing biology.
Mnemonics and acronyms and...
What happened to Henry VIII's last wife? Did she die, or did she not die? Divorced, beheaded, died. Divorced, beheaded.
Do you know that the only king that has got a moustache is... No. The only king that hasn't got a moustache is the King of Hearts on the playing cards.
What's the record you play? Things like that in the world. Why do you care about epoxy
Well,
GCSE?
what did she get for history?
What did she get for history?
Yeah.
I think she did very poorly.
Why do you care? See, I was just going to say, this has backfired a little bit, because Karl is genuinely... I don't know if he's actually upset or embarrassed, but it doesn't matter. Why does it matter? You were 15 and didn't go to school.
If you were my friends, I think you would have just said, oh, we can't find them.
Why?
Because
But you
it
just
doesn't
matter,
matter
though.
to do with that.
Well, what do you mean? What do you mean? It's ridiculous. Do it again because you want to learn, because there's great things in the world to learn about. Don't worry. Look, GCSE is vocational. It's vocationally for a 15, 16-year-old to go on to do A-levels or whatever, or to get results. But you don't need that because you've done very well. You don't care about the Tudors and the Stuarts. I mean, you know.
I mean, I've had a couple of jobs, not this one, because you don't need qualifications to get a job.
Obviously.
Yeah.
In the radio.
Yeah. Obviously.
You're absolutely right.
But
Yeah.
the ones that I have got in the past, I did, because I didn't collect them, I had to lie. And I didn't like go mad. I didn't say I had A's and stuff. But I think, I mean, I didn't put history down because I didn't even know I did it. But, like,
So it's a bonus.
I kind of treated myself to like a D and a couple of C's and that, so it's like, well, he's not.
I love the fact that Karl even then was honourable. It's like, I'll at least put down the ones I think I took and lie, but the ones I didn't take, I won't lie about.
Yeah, and don't give yourself a B.
Exactly.
If they're going to find out you lied, give yourself a B next time,
It could
Karl.
backfire, couldn't it? I mean, my brother's a bit mental, and he used to do things like go for jobs and say, "Oh yeah, I've done this before," like being a mechanic, and he's never even picked up a spanner, and yet he'd have the confidence to go and try and fix cars. Well, I'm not that daft, but God, and he.
Who do you blame for this?
That's just an easy way out. I have to blame myself. Don't I?
Yeah.
Well, I was telling you one about when I used to go with my dad in the taxi.
Oh, yeah,
What
tell us
happened?
this story.
Well,
Your father was a taxi driver?
my dad he had loads of jobs, which he did back then, and they don't do that anymore, do they? People they don't sort
Have
of
a
do
variety of
loads
jobs?
stuff.
Sure.
But at one point, he had a black cab, and I used to go with him. Used to get a beer crate and put it in the front of the black cab, and sort of sit just next to the
Comfortable.
meter. And anyway, we got this call, and like the guy on the end of the radio said, "Oh, you've got your son with you, haven't you?" So he said, "Yeah." So it's just like, we've got to pick up at number 11 Village Lane or whatever. And he said, "Oh, all right." And it was this woman. It was like a woman version of the Elephant Man.
Wow. The Elephant Woman.
Yeah, it looked like. It looked like, it was really strange because I was in the front of the cab, and when you're a kid, if something looks odd, you're a bit scared of it, aren't you?
Yeah.
And my dad was like, "Look, it'll be all right." And we're driving towards her.
Look, don't worry, son, I've got loads of buns.
And just to
I
give
think I'll
you-
just throw one down the street if you run after
You're
it.
being mean, right?
I am a little bit,
So
yeah.
how old were you? 18?
No, I was about 12 or something like that. 11, 12. And as we got closer to her, it looked like she was holding like a bag of spuds on her shoulder,
For a snack.
Right.
and her head was all a bit mangled and messy and that. And my dad said, "Whatever you do, don't stare at her face."
Yeah.
And she got in the
Because you
back.
turn into stone.
She got in the back, and I had like the mirror, the driver's mirror thing, and sort of having a look, trying to work out. And he said, "Don't stare at her face." I couldn't work out where her face was. It was that weird.
Oh, God.
So I'm not sure you're from Manchester. I think you're from, like, Narnia or something.
Yeah, you got frog boys walking around.
the Lord
with,
of the Rings.
That got, like, the claws of a lobster and the head of a toad.
Yeah.
And you got women getting in with spuds for heads. I mean, what
This is
sort
not
of, what
Manchester.
is
This is not
place?
the place you grew up. This is
Yeah.
mad.
Oh, you can't believe it in London, can you? You come down and go, look, symmetry. It must be amazing.
It must be a thing to do with upbringing, though, mustn't it? And because again, do you know I've said to you before, years ago when I was a kid and didn't have any worries, good-looking lad, you go through it a bit, have a few more worries, and you look knackered. Now back there's a lot more worries and stuff, so you get a lot more freaks. Whereas in London, everyone's like happy, aren't they? Got
I
loads
love
of
the
money.
fact that stress can cause your fingers to fuse and your heads
Yeah.
to grow.
No, but if
She must have been really stressed to have a head like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. She what was?
Bag of
Yeah,
sluts.
was she an accountant or something?
you know what I mean.
But what did she do? What did she say?
Where
when
was
she
she
got in?
going, by the way?
She couldn't speak.
London Zoo, please.
I think she was going to like a
To the
pet
fair.
shop. Seriously, honest to God. On my mum's life, she was. Because at the end of the day, that's a good thing with animals. They don't judge you, do they?
She's not
She
an
was an
animal.
animal. She's a human
She's
being.
not actually an elephant.
No, but
You know the Elephant Man was not actually an elephant. Do you understand that? He's got no elephant genes in him at all.
No.
That was just a cruel name people gave him.
Yeah.
No, it's the name of the disease, isn't it? Elephantitis.
Look, so listen. So this woman, why was she going to a pet shop?
She was going to a pet shop. What, to find a husband?
Like, play a song.
Is this true?
No, it is true, yeah.
Oh,
But
God.
I'm not taking the mickey because it must be
So,
really bad for
Of
you.
course it
But
is.
Karl, I
we
need to
haven't.
ask.
I'm going on to you today about cutting myself shaving.
Yeah.
I was going on about that. To think that she's probably not alive now, but to think,
But you're saying that you're going to say this is a worse problem than a little cut shaving, aren't you?
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I
The
think you're
things
right.
that
Karl,
you worry about.
there's a couple of key questions I need to ask. One, if she couldn't talk,
Yeah.
how did she tell your father where to drive it? Did she have it
Probably
written on
got
a
some
note?
help
Did she
for at
point
home.
with her nose?
Yeah.
Right, this has got silly. Pick your song.
But and also, finally, where did you say she lived again?
It was like in a village, a little small village.
Right.
Just hidden out of the way.
All I'm saying is we could maybe get like some sort of coach, book some coaches, get a coach party up there to have a look at her. Take some photos.
And now
You can make some lemonade.
the offspring of a woman and some spuds. Please enter at your peril. Should give me a shiny shilling.
Wow.
Oh, that's terrible. Well, I'm going to play a little bit of Teenage Fan Club song.
Okay, what about Darren Buckley?
He was one of my best mates.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
What do you reckon he's doing now? Do you still keep in touch?
When my mum and dad were still in Manchester and they had a butty shop, he used to go in because the bookies was next door.
I love the way you paint a picture.
He used to,
If you did this in your history exam, Karl, you will walk it.
Go on. So your parents had a butty shop. There was a bookies next door.
Yeah, and he liked having a bit of a gamble, so he used to. I think he works for some insurance company.
Do you
or
think that
something.
his fiancée Beth knows he's got a gambling problem?
Yeah.
Or that his 2-year-old son Lewis?
No.
Yeah, they live in Cheadle Holme.
Hume.
Cheadle Hume.
He must be doing well. 'Cause it's
He's still supporting the Blue Army and frequents the shrine on a fortnightly basis.
funny thing with him is, right, when I used to stay over at his house, and his dad was a copper, and I remember his dad came down and said, right, I want to see you two. I thought, oh God, what's happened? And got us round the table. He said, do you know much about drugs? So we were like, what's all this about? So he goes, you know, they're not good for anyone, you know, they're stupid thing to get into. And we're like, yeah, we know. And he went, you know, do you? He said, yeah. He said, what's this then? And he'd found something in his bedroom, and it was a Skittle.
What the sweet?
Do you know little sweets with the S on it? And
Oh,
he knew
really?
about drugs.
Yeah.
So he said, well, yeah, it's a Skittle. Yeah, I know what it is. He said,
Oh, he was bluffing like that as a slang word.
yeah, he thought because he was a copper, he probably had to be down with all the terms and that. So we said, oh, it's a Skittle. And he said, yeah, I know what it is, but what's it doing in your bedroom?
Oh.
And it was like, no, it's a toffee. So, Darren,
Yeah, I know, it's a toffee, it's a squib, it's a, yeah.
Karl, more people from your past. Debbie Carr?
yeah, she was another nice one.
What does that mean? Is that a euphemism?
No, she was one of them that you'd sort of go, she's nice, but she'd never be your girlfriend. Do you know what I mean? She was,
Not really.
even though she was in the same year, she seemed a lot older.
Right.
And
Wasn't a teacher, was it?
There was 3 of them who all hung together, and they seemed to hang around like the older kids, the ones who looked like men. Do you know what I mean? They had
Yeah.
What
like
did you
the
look like then?
Well, it's just that I had youthful sort of looks, whereas like the older ones had like beards and stuff.
It's the gang of boys in the 5th form with beards. Were they smoking pipes? Go, come over here, me filly. Oi, Debbie Carr, come over here, you little beauty.
No, but she was like,
I love that. Hanging around with beards. There's the big boys. Oh, fishing. Lovely beards. What do you
I
mean?
just see a whole row of George Bernard Shaws. Brilliant.
How do you do in history, boy? Think got any? You're an idiot.
Oh,
they were like, you know, I'd be there sort of playing punching people in the arm. Cause we used to
Oh,
play
yeah.
that
Oh, that's a
skill.
great game.
oh, I love that. Punch people in the arm.
Is that part of the Olympics now?
it's, I think it was exhibition this year.
Right.
But it's
going to be a pro next
it's going to be the Winter Olympics because you've got to do it in just a cap sleeve shirt
Sure.
in winter.
Yeah. So you're also playing that?
She, but whilst I
But
was
she didn't
doing
appreciate that. She used to go, ow!
that, no, I always think whilst I was doing that, they were like the Charlie's Angels, and they'd be sorting out a mission somewhere because they were really like there was something about them that you thought, you know, yeah, they're special.
They were private detectives.
What do they work for a man they never see?
Okay, here's a name I'm interested in because, well, let me just tell you the name first. Adam Clifton. Oh. Go on, what are your thoughts on Clifton?
He was one of them kids. He was all right, but he had that thing when if you didn't have enough milk, he had like wrinkly hands and like white bits in his nails.
Oh!
Because you didn't have enough milk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So therefore, you didn't like him because you didn't get enough milk.
This is not to be confused with the 2 people with the big heads and the webbed feet, is it?
Webbed hands.
Well, what's
I love
interesting.
that they weren't related. They must have been somewhere along the evolutionary sort of trail. Do you know what I mean? They must have come from the same sort of stock.
But
no, you wouldn't have liked him. He's just one of them people. He was all right, but
well, before you say any more, on Friends United, you can leave a little message which explains what you've been doing and what your life's like now. And most people leave maybe 2 paragraphs.
Yeah.
Adam, I've printed it off. He seems to have printed. I think there's about 6 pages here of stuff. He keeps updating it, and he just basically lists his memories about everyone. Okay, at the school and what he thinks of everyone. And he says, I often see Simon, he's doing alright for himself, self-employed illustrator, Mark Cooper, Karl Pilkington.
Right.
And your name comes up. Now, I don't know if you've told us this story. I think you may have done, but I can't remember the facts about it. It just says, Karl Pilkington, with his pet bird. Was it a magpie? I can't remember. He brought it to school to show everyone, and it flew away.
Oh, God! Oh, no, they do that, don't they? You show them the love.
What was the story there,
You give them seed and they just leave. What do you mean?
Well,
This sounds like Kez.
Well, that's it. I was a big fan of Kez. And, it was the time our dog had just died.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any pets, and the cats were always getting run over.
Yeah.
And, so we didn't want any more pets.
Yeah.
But there was a magpie that used to fly about on the estate, and I managed to sort of tame it. And, in the end...
With a chair and a whip? What do you mean you tamed it?
Well, just used to sort of hang around it and talk.
But how'd you
to
get
it.
hold of it? Did you catch it?
Well, eventually, yeah, it used to just come to me, and the annoying thing was, it got to a point when I wish I hadn't bothered, because it used to pop me bike tyres. It used to sit on like, if I was talking to my mates and I was on my grifter.
I love the way he just throws things in.
It's like an Alan Bennett play.
It landed on my tyre, and it used to peck at the tyre and pop it, and then it used to then never go away, so it was always like around the house, and my dad said never bring it in. So it used to sit on the porch, and I used to go out, and it used to fly down and land on my head, and it really hurt. It used to like peck and stuff.
He thought it was a tyre.
So it wasn't so much tamed as a stalker.
Oh, God!
So you took it to school and it flew away?
Yeah.
So did you take it in proudly going, look at my magpie? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
no.
I think it got a bit confused in the area that it was in, because I used to just keep it sort of around our estate, but
Sure.
the school was a bit of a distance away.
How did you get it there?
So, tying it on my finger.
Did you walk?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was happy there, and then it got...
But it used to be one of those things that people would stop me in the street and sort of go, oh, what's that?
And
it
I don't
was
suppose
called it Maggie.
You didn't get Charlie's Angels to go and find out what happened to it? Investigate?
Were they impressed?
No, not really.
No.
Christmas theme there, Christmas theme there.
You've spotted the Christmas theme.
Yeah. Carl's not really in festive mood, but,
I can't imagine Christmas is your time of year, is it, Karl? Well, I'm not sure any time of the year is, really.
I liked it when I was about... I think when I was about 7, I enjoyed it.
Was that the one? Was that the year, the big year for
You
you?
get loads of stuff, you don't have to worry about anyone else, but once you've, like, got a job...
What did you get when when were you doing your paper round? How old were you then?
I was about 13, 14.
Well, that was you then, you were your own man, weren't
I
you?
had to buy stuff.
Oh.
But you're still not
You're
having
quite
a
a
good time.
selfish man, aren't you? I didn't realise this.
No, it's just that Christmas...
And that's coming from him, Karl.
My dad always said...
Oh, right, steady on.
Dad said Christmas morning was for, like, you know, for me, so he used to stay in bed. So he never...
That's brilliant. That's a great thing to say, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. Christmas morning's for you. Run wild. Do what you want. Just don't bother
so
me.
I'm going to Honolulu for 2 weeks.
That's great. Dad, it's Christmas. Do I have to do anything? No.
So my mum used to get up, because she used to like to see my face light up, you know, when I open my presents. And then,
to give fireworks.
and then I'd have to go to my bedroom from about 6 o'clock onwards, because, like, my mum and dad were into having big Christmas parties, and I wasn't, like, old enough to go.
Right.
So they'd say, right, you know, you've had your fun now, you go up to your bedroom, stay in there.
Really?
Yeah, I remember one year, right, I got a train set, that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
Right? It's brilliant. Playing with it all day. I thought, I don't mind about the party, I'm happy staying up here, playing with this. Brother comes in, he's had a few, right, he's going, yeah, give us a go on your train.
How old is he?
He's a bit older than me, so he might have been like, let's see.
Well, let him be 18.
Yeah, probably about 18, 19,
And how old
something
were you?
like that. I was, well, I had a train set, so, I don't know, about
14.
something like that. Yeah. Right, so I'm playing on that, loving it and stuff, and then he comes in and goes, oh, give us a go. He turns the transformer up to, like, 14. He went really fast for about 5 seconds, broke it, and then he went back downstairs.
Wow.
So Christmas, I hadn't even got to
Sounds
Christmas
like
Day.
the Conservative government with British Rail.
Satire, that is.
Rick, I
well,
just thought that there's satire.
It's
If there's any
saying-
satirical
it's-
shows listening or
it
magazines...
doesn't work in any way, because there's the analogy falls down, apart from there being a train.
Think it through, though. British Rail was trains.
Yeah.
And the government broke the trains in many ways. They didn't break them, like, not officially breaking them, but they kind of...
It does work, it's perfect.
Oh, I'm pretty pleased with that.
And I can't, and no one's asked him to be on Have I Got His View.
It's weird, isn't it?
Because
It's strange, that, when you've got a satirical mind that's as quick as that.
Yeah.
Alright.
And he's broke your little train set, so what did you do?
I just, like, watched telly and had some sausages.
I bet you were happy with that though, weren't you?
It's a bit annoying though, isn't it, when your main present of the year's been broke.
And did it ever get it fixed?
No, that was it. That was it. Put away.
I'm intrigued why your parents wouldn't let you come and join in the festive fun. Was it like really debauched down there? Was it like eggnog everywhere?
Well, no, but I mean, that's fair enough. 6 is a little bit early, but I just think, you know, if you're your kid, you know, he had his fun, put him to bed at 8 maybe. And
you think so on Christmas Day? I thought that was a day for family.
Well, not if there's a party going on.
Well, don't have the party on Christmas Day.
Well, that's another option.
Yeah. Your parents are weird, aren't they? A strange breed.
Well, I think that was the year, right? You're talking about buying presents and stuff. I think I did treat my mum to. I didn't buy my dad anything. I think that was like when I got a bit older. I used to get my dad something because he wasn't that bothered anyway.
No.
So got me mum. There was a cheap shop, right?
Of course.
Thank God for that.
Called Snips. Right? So I went in there and I thought, let's see what I can get her. And remember Victoria Plum?
I don't think so.
Well, it's like a fairy character.
Right.
Right? And my mum's into gnomes and stuff, right? So I thought, right.
She must be pleased with you then.
Victoria Plum. I was thinking, is that one of the neighbours? Is it like a brandy
Do you
liqueur?
remember Victoria Plum?
Victoria Plum.
Victoria Plum, yeah, it's like a little fictional sort of character, right?
Okay.
So I saw it, I thought, yeah, she'll love that, right? So I did my paper round, saved up for 2 weeks, right?
Oh.
Got that sorted, went to Snips, bought the Victoria Plum. Next day, I'm in town with her, right? So I think, I know what I'll do. I said, come in here a minute, right? So we go in, and we're looking around, and I tested her, right? I went, look at that there, that's alright, innit? And she goes, oh, it's bloody awful.
Oh, Karl. Oh, Karl, oh, God.
So then, Christmas Day comes, and I said, don't bother opening it. She said, no, why? I said,
Oh, no, why did you still give it to her?
So, well, it's too late, I'd already bought it.
Oh, Karl.
So she opened it, and I was like, and she said, oh, that's nice. I said, why are you saying that? I said, the other day, she said it's bloody awful. She said, oh, no, I thought you were pointing at something else.
Oh, no.
So that's why I don't get anyone anything anymore.
Oh, God. Play record. Oh, God. I'm actually quite affected by Karl's Victoria Plum scenario. Just the fact that, like, that eagerness, he wants to make sure it's a great present. He's saved up his paper round. He thinks it's like a gnome, but modern.
I'm worried that you're using it as an excuse now, and that's why you're not buying anyone any gifts, because you've had your fingers burned once. I mean, you were 6, 7 years old. To be fair.
No, you weren't. You were about 13, weren't you, if you're doing your paper round?
Yeah, it must have been, yeah, 11 or 12 then.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so I'd saved up. Oh, no, I'm not using it as a thing, it's just
What do you get your mum this year?
I've sent them some money so they can, get a passport.
So they can get a passport?
What do you mean, where are they?
Immigrants?
Are they trapped somewhere? Well, they're in a holding bay somewhere in Dover.
Yeah, I got a friend who's a truck driver who's going to sneak them across.
What do you mean?
So they can buy a passport. What do they do? Sell it when they're a bit down in their luck?
No, they haven't got that much money, right? They've never been abroad, and the mate said they might, take them next year, and they said, oh, we haven't got a passport, so I thought...
You've got to buy a passport, have you? Isn't that your God-given right as an Englishman?
No, you've got to pay for them, they're 30 quid each, so you better add do, otherwise they're conning me.
Right.
So
you sent them 60 quid?
You don't get born with a passport, of course
you sent them 60 quid in an envelope, have you?
Well, check.
Right.
I love that. He'll be watching telly and France will come on and he'll go, oh, what do you think of that? She goes, it looks bloody awful. He goes, don't open it.
No.
Don't open it.
Yeah.
Don't open it.
So you've not paid for a holiday for them,
No, I've just sorted out the, well, it's the better prize, isn't it? Because they can't go anywhere without it.
Well, the passport keeps on giving.
Yeah.
So
10 years. That is, yeah.
So, but no, I never used to, I mean, I can't think of other things. I used to get me dad once I started getting him stuff, it sort of used to be a dressing gown, and then, but as an extra surprise, I used to put like a cigar in the pocket, so he'd think that was it.
Yeah.
Then he'd put it on and put his hand in the pocket.
Right, and then he'd just hit you because he thought you'd nicked it.
Oh dear.
So you bought him a jacket with a cigar? That's quite thoughtful.
Did you sneak a cigar once one Christmas?
Yeah, well, it was that's when they used to have, like, the big do's, like I say, you know, they were known for it, like, the whole estate used to know that, you know, we were having a party.
Yeah.
So,
so they'd all come round.
So they'd all come round and have food and drink and that. And
pocket the,
I cannot imagine how unpleasant that must have been.
Awful.
And you locked in your bedroom with a broken train set.
Yeah, crying.
And looking at Victoria Plum, whatever that was.
In the bin.
Oh, in the bin, yeah. And hear her mum saying, and he got me this. Isn't this
piece
shit?
of rubbish.
You could hear him just throwing it against the wall and laughing.
And all the neighbours laughing.
Yeah. And you'd come down and just be in pieces with loads of spit on it. Just loads of gob on it.
Eyes.
And all the Polaroids of them just like laughing at it and
pointing.
Stamping on it.
Yeah.
Alright.
Well, that's brought it all flooding back.
But no, I used to get up in the morning and then, like, they'd still sort of all be there asleep on the floor and on the sofa. And
that's awful.
Carl.
That's terrible. Christmas is surely the one day a year which is a family thing. It's for the kids. They're the ones
no, but that was Boxing Day.
Well, I know.
Oh, that's all right. It's over.
Yeah.
Back on the bike. All right. Who's going to pay for this? What, me? Yes, Carl. You're doing 2 rounds today.
Yeah, was your paper round supporting the entire family?
Yeah.
No, so I used to get up and, like, go downstairs and they'd be asleep, so I'd be mooching about trying to find, like, another present that's still working.
I love the idea that these people from the estate had, like, squashed his presents.
So I found a cigar that had been sort of lit up and then put out, so I thought, oh, I'll have a go at that.
Yeah.
I went outside and had a go, and that's the last time I smoked.
Right.
Sort of, I tried it, I thought, I don't like that.
I love the fact that he does everything once.
Yeah.
In his life. It's a line of, I've done everything once. I don't need to do it again. Oh, dear.
Good.
Carl, I feel like you've never kind of enjoyed the wonder of Christmas. I can't ever get the sense, maybe except when you were very, very young, you know, that kind of bright-eyed, you know, thinking of Santa, you know, kind of, landing on the roof and coming down the chimney and drinking the sherry or whatever.
So I like the idea of it, right?
Sure.
The sort of, you know, I used to get a couple of annuals every year, you know.
Yeah, so did I, yeah.
And I was allowed to open one on Christmas Eve.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So
so they could throw it on the fire.
I think
it is sort of like
a quick skim through, do the work, so it's right.
Yeah. I think that's to light a cigar off the cooker. Oh.
Well, anyway, listen, a good friend of ours, Ross Noble, the comedian, brilliant, he gave me this picture, Carl, which he's got from a magazine.
He loves you.
And I have to say, I think this... I just looked at it then. Obviously, it's not going to mean much to the listener.
Oh, this is self-indulgent.
But it is currently available. I think it's in the current edition of Bizarre magazine, so you might want to buy that.
It's not horrible, though, is it?
There's a certain grotesqueness about it.
Oh, it's a deformed person, isn't it?
Well, to a degree, but I think what it's going to do for Carl is give him, I think for you and I, Rick, we're going to see his face.
Light up.
Brighten up, lighten up, like opening a wonderful Christmas gift.
Oh, you know what? I think I've seen this. Is this the one with the kid with the big head?
I'll be honest with you, Carl, it is. Have you seen it already?
Yeah.
Let me just show it to you again so you can kind of mark it.
It's like
I haven't seen it.
It's like... yeah.
We shouldn't be laughing at that.
No, but that is like the kid who I went to school with. That is the same.
That can't be the same.
So do you recognise him?
Seriously, that is the same thing he had.
I mean, I have to say, it does look like
sure.
it's been computer generated, it's so odd.
Yeah.
But look at the child's face.
I know.
Look at his reaction. Don't take another photo of me.
I'm not sure this is right.
It's not right, but I was hoping that would give you, Carl, just a little glimpse of,
We've had a request as well on the best bits, so someone wants to hear you talking about your mates with the big heads.
I can't believe it, because every time we go there, we get some sort of complaint about something.
About what?
Just leave it. Well, that, for some reason, that always goes from the story with my dad going to Blackpool for taking those kids there.
And what kids?
And, leave it.
No, what?
No,
I don't know, there's people that know what you're talking about.
I'll tell you when we put a song on.
No, well, I know what it is, but you can't just say that.
Well,
is it when...
email
is it when your dad put a kid in the wheelie bin? Because he was getting out of hand?
Yeah, so we're gonna be
we can't go through it again, it's too controversial.
We're gonna... What's the name? No, well, the thing is, right, you were just saying about what are you, about Christmas. That's the funny thing, right, because in our house there's no one who's religious, right?
No.
My dad got annoyed when I went to church that day. He was like, what are you doing that for?
Of course.
I went to see a gig in Liverpool. Remember the band The Christians?
Yeah.
He thought I'd join some club.
Yeah.
I said, I've been to see The Christians. He was saying to me, man, what's he doing going out with them?
Yeah, yeah.
And then, the other thing is, because I'm not christened or anything, my mum used to say to me, don't tell anyone that, because there's witches and stuff.
I want to go back and see his upbringing. I just want to go back and see him at 7. One day in the life of Karl, age 7.
Just to have 3 ghosts visiting tonight.
and take him back through time. But we could go with him. We go with him. Well, we could be some of the ghosts.
Yeah,
so
the ghosts of Christmas past.
Oh,
remember this?
That's incredible. Because
So
just she thought. So she wasn't Christmas, but she thought maybe someone could take your soul because you weren't christened.
It's like there's cults and that, isn't they? And if they find out you're not christened, then
Right. I don't think they care. I don't think a lot of cults care.
Well,
But what can they do if you're not Christian?
I don't know. I just said all right because then through that time there must have been a time when.
But hold on, now they know.
Yeah, but I'm older now, so I'm all right. She used to worry about me playing out on the street.
Oh, she was worried about when you were naive and stupid and easily led.
Well,
yeah. No. Good point. No, you're right now. Yeah.
So,
yeah. Good.
Rockbusters.
Rockbusters. We'll tell the prizes. Exactly. Yeah.
But it's sort of, it's like, you remember that thing when they tried to get young people to vote? Do you remember that? Was it Rock the Vote? Was it called Rock the Vote? Was it people like Billy Bragg and people kind of...
Yeah.
I don't know who that appeals to. I don't know, you know, some youth is kind of smashing up a bus shelter, throwing bricks at old people.
Goes,
and
Billy,
was that Billy Bragg?
Billy Bragg, yeah.
I just can't, I don't believe it ever. I think it was Mick Hucknall was another one. What's that, Mick?
Oh dear. Well, I remember the ones where it just, if you were gonna go off with a stranger, your cat went, well, don't.
Yeah.
Ask mummy first.
Yeah.
And I remember I was trying to jump in cars left, right and centre, but my cat, when I was like 5 or 6, would go, and I go, good point.
Yeah.
You're right, he could be a nutter.
But I seem to remember the Charlie Says. It was Charlie Says, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Charlie Says.
Charlie Says.
I always find them really unnerving. He lived in that really eerie kind of world where you never really saw
cartoon.
anyone. Yeah, but it was very kind of, it was very eerie. It wasn't very kind of comforting world.
They hadn't spent a lot of money on the cartoon, had they? No.
But it was, I always got the sense with him that he was probably really quite lonely.
But what I like the fact is that,
And that he had a cat,
Mummy
and a
was
cat could
so
talk.
pleased, but by the time I came out, they'd gone off and I missed the picnic, but Mummy was so pleased that I'd asked her, she gave me an apple.
No, I think
and
she
Charlie got something he liked, he gets a fish,
Yeah.
right? I was thinking, an apple?
No, I seem to remember it being that,
I'll get an apple anyway, get me some sweets.
yeah, or a tattoo.
I always thought it was a con when your parents got you, some clothes you needed for Christmas.
Yeah,
I'm not falling for that.
Exactly.
I'd go, look, I'm getting the clothes anyway. I want battling tops.
But the Charlie Says, I seem to remember when they asked him to go off for the picnic, by the time he'd asked Mum because she was on the phone, I don't know who she was chatting to in the middle of the day, the kids had gone, and I seem to remember
one of her clients.
Exactly. I seem to remember that he said, don't worry, he was fine because Mum took him and Charlie on a picnic.
Not as good.
Who'd rather go with your mates,
Yeah.
or with your mum
Or
on a
mum and your
picnic?
cat.
And your cat.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think they were friends.
Mum, this Scotch egg stinks of fish. Well, I had to bring it for Charlie. Don't bring raw fish in the picnic basket.
But I think they weren't friends with us, they were just local kids who go, let's go and ask that weirdo with the cat if he wants to come down the park.
Let's go and ask the weirdo who thinks the cat can
He can talk, yeah.
and then run away when he goes to
Exactly.
ask his mum.
When he goes off to ask his mum, they're just going, ask your mum, ask your mum.
Yeah. Hello, hiya. Alright, we're the local lads, the cool local lads. We smoke, we got tattoos. Do you want to come and play with some puppies in the disused mine? Ask your mum first. Quick, run.
Exactly.
Look, he's talking to the cat. Look, he's talking to the cat.
They were just round the corner spying on him. They were just laughing, there was no picnic.
Did you ever go on a picnic, Karl? Was there places to go in Manchester, or was it like Quarryland, mostly?
The problem with those adverts, like when I was growing up, they'd sort of give you ideas, because remember the Charlie's one, right, and we were on holiday, right, and I met these two lads who are knocking about with, like, mates and that, and that advert came on, and we thought it'd be a good idea to wind his mum up, because this advert had just been on saying, you know, kids are going missing in Wales, right?
Yeah.
So we said, oh, this will be a good laugh. We put the kid in the wardrobe, his mum came back from shopping, we said, oh, he's gone missing, we haven't seen him for hours.
That's terrifying.
I know.
That's an appalling
How
thing
old
to
were
do.
you?
About 13.
And what was his mum? She must have been,
She was, yeah, she was going mad, and that's when we thought, oh god, we've gone. Will we say anything? Will we pretend we don't know where he is?
Oh, in the wardrobe, he'd suffocated.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
horrible, Karl.
I know, but
Such
it's
a
just
cruel
what you
thing.
do, isn't it? It's just what you do.
Well, no, you do.
What do you mean? It's just what you do. What was it? Was he in the wardrobe? Was he listening to this? Why didn't he go, Mum, it's alright, when he heard her crying?
No, she wasn't crying. She was just panicking and like screaming a little bit and that.
Screaming a little bit.
Okay, we'll tell her when the screaming starts.
Exactly, yeah.
And then what's the other thing? Like on the same, like you know, all this was going on when I was growing up, and one time we're on holiday, and my mum says, right, if you're going on the beach, it's a big beach, but you know, if you're going to go out and play there, I need to know where you are.
So
what part
where
of the
these
beach you're going
bells?
to.
where this cowbell round your neck.
She gave me a balloon.
Good
Give you
idea.
a balloon.
A balloon, and it just, you know, sort of attached to my arm, so wherever I was playing in the sea and that, you can see the balloon and that.
Brilliant.
But then the problem was, everyone else thought that's a good idea,
Go on.
and it was just like loads of kids with balloons and that,
Oh, I ruined it.
so that didn't work.
Yeah.
I had to bin that idea.
Carl's in a bad mood already. He's been in about 3 minutes and he's in a bad mood, getting stressed. If you can't hack it, leave. What's the matter with you?
No, I'm just saying, I was meant to enjoy last Saturday off, and I didn't.
Why not? Why is that our fault? Because you weren't here?
Just 'cause I don't know, but...
Are you not in the Christmas spirit?
Why didn't you enjoy last Saturday?
What did you do?
I went all the way back up north again, right? Because it was Suzanne's dad's birthday, right? I was busy last week, didn't have time to get him a present or anything.
Didn't have time to give him.
So I got to Euston Station, bought a card for him, which was a Christmas card, so he wasn't happy because he was saying it's my birthday, and I said, well, I won't be seeing you again. So I've got a joint card, and then we went out.
Did you get him a present?
Well, no, because we went out on Saturday night for something to eat at this pub that he likes. It does nice steak and onion rings, right?
Lovely.
So he should have been
Classy.
happy anyway.
Yeah.
But
Well, you paid for it,
no,
but you should have been happy anyway.
Suzanne paid for that because it is her dad, right, not mine. So I said, all right, what can I do? I said to her. So she said, just buy a few drinks or something. Anyway, I didn't get around to getting drinks. 'cause we didn't
Can't
say that
believe
long.
it.
Didn't get
Can't believe it.
round to getting the drink.
Right, so I said, right, I'll pay for the cab, right?
Oh, what a lovely Christmas gift that is.
Yeah,
So-
£2.50.
I paid, no, it
In-
was like
in
3 quid
Manchester
there,
it is.
3 quid back.
So
Oh.
£6 you spent on him.
Well, no, I spent more. See, that's what he said. He
You
said,
get the
oh,
Bolton and back,
He
can't you,
said,
for
he
that?
said, oh, you've spent on me 6 quid for my birthday. I said, no, I haven't, because I gave the taxi driver a tip.
I'm a little bit worried about his attitude as well. Because even if, I mean, that is a stingy present, but you don't go, you don't say...
Well, I mean, let's be honest, that's the worst Christmas gift ever, because, I mean, you're pretty bad, like we discussed in the past, but at least you spend a bit of money.
Yeah.
It's just thoughtless.
Yeah.
This is nothing.
I
You haven't
know.
given him any time. I mean, I would...
And I knew my demographic. They loved it,
Oh,
my
yeah,
family.
the
They
scratch
couldn't believe their luck. You know.
Well, a tenner.
You spent a tenner on him.
Well, the cab fare was 6 quid.
But the thing is, he doesn't. It's not. I don't think he's saying that. I think it's the fact that this is like, you know, frittering away in everyday
it's
life.
kind of
he would
thoughtless, isn't
have loved to. I'm sure he would have been appreciative of a lovely £10 gift that you cared about and bought. A book he probably likes, Fly Fishing, doesn't he, by J.R. Hartley. If you'd have bought that, he'd have gone, "That's what I was looking for." Or what I was looking for, Karl. Bloody hell, Karl, you little bald twat. That's just what I wanted. So. All right, so just calm down.
So what have you got planned for Christmas? Is this what, I mean, are you doing the same approach with
Karl,
Suzanne?
excellent. You've paid me milk bill for this week. That were reet nice.
I'm spent this year. But when you think, have you ever seen like a bald pet?
No.
It's weird.
What do you mean?
Because my mum, we had a cat. We used to get through loads of cats because we lived on.
Oh God! It started early today, innit?
What do you mean
It's only 10 past one.
Because
What
we
are
lived
you
on.
doing?
No,
Running
we
a
lived,
restaurant?
we lived on.
Oh God! What do you mean?
No, we lived on like a main road.
Oh yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
we used to get through a lot of them. My dad
It was
kept
their
saying,
risk.
you know, stop wasting money. You know, it's not
Stop
good.
wasting money, not wasting cats.
Right. So anyway, we had this cat that was ill all the time, and
It's just bag of nerves, probably.
Yeah, malingerer. Yeah, I'm terrified.
I'm going to which house?
Rome. Oh God, bloody hell. Rome.
Don't let me go to the Pilkingtons.
and it, for some reason, it kept being sick all the time. Right?
Yeah, that is nerves. That's definitely nerves.
So my mum kind of thought, I've had enough of this, and she shaved it.
What? Whoa! 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 Now I know you're not vets in your family, but what correlation did your mum think there was between you being sick and shaving it?
Because it kept being sick, and it was a pain to wash, because it kept getting
So
caught
she
up.
wanted a dry wipe cat.
So,
Why didn't you just varnish it? What?
it's weird, it's weird though.
So now he's cold and sick.
No, but I mean, not all of it. She left sort of the back half, but sort of from its waist, sort of.
I love that! Shave it because it's sick on itself!
And
That is
it was the
genius.
weirdest looking thing. I mean, normally I like cats. I'm always like giving yours a stroke on the head and that.
Yeah.
But as soon as she did that, it was like, oh,
Yeah.
Poor
can't
thing!
touch it. And then
So now it's sick, cold and hated.
Yeah.
Karl.
It must have, I mean, the other cats must have been taking the mick out of it constantly. It's just making things worse. Did it get, I'm hoping that it got run over and was put out of its misery.
no, I think it got all right, that one. Or is that the? Yeah, I did get run over. I did.
Oh, God. Oh. Oh, dear.
How many cats do you say you've got through?
I'd say whilst I was living at home, I mean, it's still on the increase even though I'm not there. So, whilst I was there, probably 5.
God.
Did I tell you the time when the doctor said I was going to die?
Alright, keep talking.
Right, ages ago, must have been about 15, right? And at lunchtime there was this. We used to have a choice of stuff to do at lunchtime, right? We used to have like a burger place that had an arcade machine in it, right? So we used to go there and play on that and have a burger. Or there was this baker's, right, that my mum worked at, and did great cakes and stuff, right? So she used to like bring some home and that, but she couldn't always bring them home every night because, you know, they cost money, and she used to get them for free. And they used to say they'd rather chuck them away than give them to the staff because there's a chance that the cream might be off.
Right.
Right, so they used to chuck them round the back. So I used to go round the back with my mate and eat a load.
Brilliant. Scavenging, eating out of bins.
No, it wasn't out of bins, they were still in trays, but they just stacked them up near the bins, right? So this got out, I mean, it used to be chocker. Once the school found out, everybody used to go there, and it'd be like, well, have a cake.
The headmaster crawling through, fighting the kids off.
Right, so I'd have, like, you know, you'd just eat, I don't know, 6 jam donuts or something, and then you'd spend your dinner money on the arcade machine.
Brilliant.
Right? So it was a good afternoon, really, right? So you'd do that, and this one day I must have had 6 or 7 jam donuts, a few Congress tarts.
What's a Congress tart?
I love them. I can't get them in London, right? So I'd have some of them.
If anyone can get a Congress tart for Karl in London, please let him know. So
anyway, this day, that was just a normal day. Do you know what I mean? You'd once, twice a week, you'd have a load of cake.
In your life,
yeah.
So
normal
anyway,
day in your life. Were the frog boys there with the webbed hands and the big heads?
So,
and the horse in the settee? Yeah.
But the day after one of these days, I had really bad cramp in my belly. Right? I was like in agony, could hardly walk. So I said to my mum,
you could hardly stagger to the free cakes.
So, I was in absolute agony. I said, I don't like doctors, but you'll have to get a doctor in because I don't know what it is, I can't walk. She gets the doctor round, I won't say his name, but he said, well, doesn't look like he's got long left.
Blimey.
So I was a bit like, hang on a minute, I've only had a few cream donuts.
Yeah.
My mum was panicking.
Sure.
He went, my dad came in from work, she said, oh, something's really bad with Karl, I think it's serious, you know, the doctor said he ain't got long left. So he said, what, he said that and just left? So she said, yeah. He said, I'll have to call him then. So he called him up, said, what's all this about? You know, Karl hasn't got long left, how long's he got? So he goes, oh, I was only messing. He's just had some bad cream. Can you believe that?
Well, the thing is,
I like the fact your mum didn't ask any questions.
I know.
She didn't go into detail. Can you explain more, Doctor? No, I got to show off.
No, but she doesn't. She doesn't like talking.
You know, I don't want to diss you or your family, but I imagine if I was there, I'd have known the doctor was joking. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I sound very arrogant there, but I imagine he went, what's he been doing? I had about 6 cream cones. Oh, right. Oh, wow. He hasn't got long to live then. I'll see you later. Yeah. That's what I think the doctor did.
Yeah. Just like the idea your mum just let him go.
Yeah.
Terrified, thinking, well, I'm not going to probe him, he's that's it then.
Dad comes in, hi honey, I'm home. Anything happened? The doctor said Karl's going to die and then left. Did he? I'll call him.
But anyway, that's why these sort of things fascinate me.
Me mum called me to ask me to like... Fuck me, you're right. Look, that should be. Me mum called me to ask me to look in some of the magazine shops in London for a magazine that she can't find. It's called UFO Data. I said, I ain't heard of it. She said she's seen an advert for it in one of her ghost magazines.
I love the fact that she can't even find the magazine about unidentified flying objects.
Yeah. So we get a clue.
She thinks, I think I saw something, but I don't know whether it was a magazine or not.
So we get a clue there as to why you give any credence to this crap.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, I mean...
Mama Pilkington's into the same shit.
There's a lot of space out there, isn't there?
She said that this magazine has got news story about how Aldrin, brackets astronaut, has got some evidence that aliens exist.
Yeah.
I told her that I found out today that the days are about 36 minutes longer on Mars. We chatted about how this is how they are more advanced than us. Do you mean the Martians?
Yeah, if they've got a longer day, that's more time that they're awake working on stuff.
Right, yeah, we know that makes no difference at all.
No, it does.
Think about it. Think about it.
Look, think about it. 6 o'clock here.
Yeah.
People are going, see you tomorrow. I'm going home. They'll be going, oh, another half hour. They've got a longer day. Productive.
And that's why they're able to fly.
That's why they're whizzing around. It adds up, doesn't it, over the years?
Christ almighty, what drivel!
Suzanne got in from work at 11:30. I told her about the UFOs in Mars. She said she's too tired to chat. I said, does it mean aliens will be more tired than us, or do they get more sleep? I got no answer. I love it when Suzanne goes in. She never indulges
no,
you.
It scares her. Anything with ghosts and UFOs, she sort of...
It doesn't scare her, it bores her.
No, it freaks her out. Scares her.
Okay. I'm knackered today, and the face feels dry and spotty. Oh God, what's wrong with you?
It starts off moaning! The first thing he does is start moaning! He wakes up and goes, oh, fuck me, I didn't die. Oh, God!
I'm knackered today and my face feels dry and spotty. I think it's the change in water since being away. Or it could be all the... it could be all the Madeira cake I had yesterday.
I'm gonna burst.
But what's the Madeira cake? The Madeira cake dries you out, does it?
Well, it's just quite fattening, isn't it? But I like it. It's one of my little pleasures.
Oh, God almighty!
I went for a wander about to try and find the UFO data magazine for my mum. I didn't know which category to look under. There were too many magazines. I noticed how on the rude magazines, the women are being pretty rude on the cover, but on the gay magazines, it's just a fella smiling, showing a bit of arse. I don't know why gay blokes would buy it. Blokes have got their own knob to look at if they like knobs. Why were you looking at the gay magazine?
No, I wasn't. It's just that.
Oh, you were?
No, I
You
noticed
studied them.
Yeah, because I was looking for UFO data. I don't know where they put it.
I don't think you find evidence of other worlds down men's pants. Yeah, I don't think you want to boldly go where no man has ever gone before, Karl.
I had no luck trying to find the UFO data magazine. I will try some other shops. He writes UFO data magazine every time. He can just put UFO mag, but
no, but it reminds me.
You want to be specific.
If I write stuff down, it means that I remember it more.
Sure.
Well, listen, you know, we're chatting about presents and all that, and before my little thought of the day about...
It was a little thought.
Just, you know, cheer someone up if you can.
Brilliant.
Right?
I mean, it's a nice sentiment, but it's... Yeah, okay, go on.
Well, there's an old woman, right, who lives next door... Who lives next door to my mum and dad, right? And this is what I mean about, you know, the old people. They might not have that many people cheering them up this time of year. So, you know, if you can, get them a little gift and that, because what happened was, this old woman living next door to my mum and dad...
How old are you?
This was only about 2 years ago.
Okay.
Right? And, you know, I think her son's left home, doesn't keep in touch, you know. Doesn't even phone her, I don't think, and that, right? Quite sad. And, I thought I'll give her a bit of my time, have a chat with her, try and cheer her up and stuff. And, I said, alright, how's it going? She said, yeah, not bad, I need a new, you know, dishwasher. Right? I was going, yeah, and she was saying, but I don't get a chance to get out these days, you know, I can't get about like I did. And all that, I'm going, yeah, it's bad that. Anyway, I go to, like, one of those big superstores where they sell all electrical stuff and that, right? I'm in there, I think, oh, I'll get her a little catalogue so she can have a look, right? Got back, gave her that, I said, there you go, whilst I was in the superstore, get you a little catalogue so you can have a look at dishwashers and that. She was over the moon, she still goes on about it. It was years ago.
What, that you got her a catalogue?
I got her a catalogue.
I thought you said you were going to buy her a dishwasher.
No, just the catalogue and that.
Oh, but your life is sort of like just bittersweet tragedy.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like something from Shameless.
I know, but it is though, because you've got in the street and there's people knocking around with big heads and webbed hands and webbed feet. I mean, that must have been.
Well, she's pretty weird. Anyway, this old woman, because she was.
And that's coming from you.
No. Well, after I got her the catalogue and that, she opened up a bit and she was saying how, you know, she's a bit odd anyway, because she woke up one morning with blood sort of falling on her head from a dead rabbit hanging over her. So I mean, she's a nice.
What are you talking about?
No, that's what she went on to. She sort of opened up a bit and said,
What street? What street were you born in? Where is this place?
Is it Elm Street that you live on?
she just said a man was a witch or something, so it was like,
like normal. Like you said, like it's normal.
Just a bit odd, isn't it? But you know, I mean, but talking about like where I live and all that, right? One story that I've told you before, and everyone's always like, that didn't happen, right? Just a couple of houses sort of down from where I lived, there was this family who had a horse in their house.
They what?
They had like a horse in their house. I'd been out with my dad, right? And I drove back into the, my dad was driving, he went back into the avenue, sort of went down to the bottom to turn round, to get back to our house.
Just via the OK Corral?
Just sort of did a little glance, and I saw this horse being led in. Had a horse in there and stuff.
Well, have you been back to visit your street?
Don't really. There's no.
Why did they have a horse in the house? I don't understand.
I don't know. I think they must have nicked it or something like that. It was a council estate in Manchester, and you know, I've told that story.
They've just been doing a bit of wrestling.
Yeah, they made the horse go in with a hoodie, and they said, "Don't cause suspicion. Yeah. Just like, you know, we just pretend it's our long lost brother."
Just pretend we're rehearsing a panto.
Yeah, it's two blokes. It's just two blokes in this horse. Wow. That's amazing. The little old lady who gave her a catalogue. That's very sweet. You see that? And it's just a little thought. That's your thought for the day, isn't it? Just cheer someone up. So nip down to Argos. There's free ones stacked up. Go and hand them out to the elderly. They love it. Karl, what's the worst present you've ever had?
You see, we don't really celebrate birthdays in our house, so.
What? Where are you from? What planet are you? What do you mean you don't celebrate birthdays?
Are you here from another world observing? Like, trying to blend in, but not quite managing to pull it off?
Not that fussed about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's...
Yeah.
My mum and dad's are on the same day, and I think that just was like...
That's a bit weird, isn't it?
And their anniversary, and...
Well, they got married on their mutual birthday.
But Karl, can I just...
and Christmas.
But Karl, there's a difference between you saying...
What do you mean their anniversary's on the same day? Of course it's on the same day.
Yeah, and the birthday.
But, Karl, what I mean is that... you say that you don't really celebrate your birthday, but presumably you have received some presents at some point in your life from your parents. Or anyone.
Yeah,
Okay, well, we'll come back to you later.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Let's play a record.
Karl, have a think about that and we'll come back to you later. Thanks very much.
Auntie Nora, she same thing, pumped her with loads of drugs. She used to have a cabinet next to the bed is like boots. She's got loads of stuff, right, for all sorts of stuff. And, I mean, she's not that old, but she's on loads of stuff, right?
She's a bit coked up, is she?
She called up my mum once, and...
Yeah, you told us this, go on, tell it again.
And, she said, "Oh, how are you doing?" and that. She's alright. Bit worried, though. My mum said, "Why, what's up?" She said, "I've, been breaking wind." So she goes, "Well, you know." She says, "No, but this one is going on and on and on." And she was like, she was like, what do you say? What's, like passing wind, farting, for 5 minutes. one thing. Not like, you know, trumping and then nothing. Yeah. Continuous.
Continuous drone of a fart.
Yeah.
I don't think she had... How big was she? She must be the size of a barn.
No, she's not that big. She's, you know, she's good for her age.
No, but I mean...
Quite slim.
No, but fighting for 5 minutes. Where's all the gas? Was she circular breathing? Was she sucking it in with her mouth?
It was just... I don't know that much about it. But she called up my mum. About 2.5 minutes in...
Could you hear it in the background?
2.5 minutes in!
2.5 minutes in, she called my mum up, and it went on for a further 2.5 minutes.
Oh. And she just stayed on the phone, did she?
Where was...
Going, well, can you hear that?
Well...
Yeah. Did she hold the phone next to her arse? Listen to that.
She was off the ground.
I'm trying to work a tune down.
she was actually hovering. She was 4 foot off the ground when they found her, the ambulance men.
The cat's dead.
Don't light a match! Don't light that cigarette!
Yeah, it's like that advert. The kids come home from school, switch on the light.
Yeah. There they see Granny hovering, turn the light on.
Be careful if you have an elderly woman at home.
Yeah. Drugs make you fart.
We'll play it a few times.
Just remember, as many as you can get, because the winner would probably be, you know, who gets 5 or something. So don't worry if there's a couple you can't get, because you could still probably win. Go on.
Again.
It is good.
A
Can I just, what's the email address?
It's, well, if they go to xfm.co.uk/Ricky, they can just send them through there and
They
that.
can send them through that way.
Right.
Which of these is the prize bag?
Yeah, don't be getting them mixed up.
That's the one, is it, Karl?
Yeah.
Alright, so let's see what hot treats you could win. As I get them out, Karl, do you want to play it once more?
Yep.
Okay.
And I know about Valences, as I told you last week, at the very end, me auntie loves them.
Yeah.
Right? She makes them. She started off just like putting them on top of the, sort of window around the curtain. And then she thought, oh, I can do more with this.
Yes.
And she had a little coffee table that had magazines underneath, and she said, I'm sick of seeing them magazines when I'm sat down.
She sounds like a Pilkington.
So,
I'm sick of seeing them magazines when I sit down.
so she put a Valence round the table.
Yeah, yeah.
She just got balances around everything now.
Yeah.
Then, next step, she tapes everything. She never actually watches telly, she tapes it all. Because she gets sick of listening to the adverts and that.
Yeah.
So she tapes everything, so she's got loads of videotapes and that. And the video used to get on her nerves. When she was watching a film, she'd see the clock changing.
Oh.
And it distracted her from the film, so she put a Valence round that.
Yeah.
That's genius.
Yeah.
So,
That is really...
Or is it mental?
I
Only
don't
Mrs.
know.
Einstein can tell
I
us.
don't know. She's even made a little Jack Russell look like a hovercraft.
Yeah. If you
It's
stand still,
great.
that's
So
it.
everything's got a balance.
If you go round and you stand still for too long, the chances are you'll get a Valence around your head.
Yeah.
This is this is Auntie who,
Auntie Nora.
and this is the one that farted for 5 minutes.
She did.
Lest our listeners forget.
Lest we
Farted
forget.
for 5 minutes. Called his mum, saying I'm farting. 2 minutes into the fart.
She said about 2.5 minutes in.
Yeah. God.
She said I'm about 2.5 minutes into
Well,
the
my
fart.
mum said, how long's it been going on for? She said, well, it was about 2.5 minutes before I called you.
Yeah.
And then it went on for a further 2.5 minutes or something. And, then it stopped. And,
She couldn't time it because there was a balance over the clock.
Yeah, she
Because it used to
couldn't time
annoy her
it,
when she was
yeah.
on the phone that you put her off seeing the
So
time.
she was
guessing it was 5 minutes.
This was one consistent fart.
yeah. I mean, it wasn't making a noise, it was just...
Oh, it wasn't making a noise.
just gas.
Right, endless gas.
So, there you
That's
go.
fantastic.
Play the clips again.
Play the clips again. I really want to win it now.
Here we go.
I can't believe this hasn't been done before.
It's extraordinary.
Alright.
Because most of our ideas have.
The emails, I should point out, aren't flooding in on the
No, but it
competition.
always takes time when they go through the website.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, they'll be arriving in a bit.
Do you want to play it once more for those that have just joined us?
Alright then. It's a phrase that has cropped up on the show a few times. This week we were going back to the classic me auntie had win for 5 minutes.
Going back to the classic.
And let's have a,
These are the
have a
answers,
listen.
is it? Okay.
Right. So what you had there is you had the knack
Yeah.
with my Sharona.
Uh-huh.
Auntie was some Manson track.
What? You don't even know what it was.
Auntie Everything, I think it's called, some album track, right? Then you had Bill Medley, Jennifer Warnes, I've Had the Time of My
Yeah.
Life. You had Bob Dylan,
Wind.
Wind,
Idiot wind.
Blowing in the Wind.
Oh, Blowing in the Wind, was it?
What was after that? 4. 4 was 2468
4 was Bob
Motorway.
Dylan.
2468 Motorway.
Yeah.
Tom Robinson.
Tom
Yeah.
Robinson, yeah. That was the 4. Then you had the 5 from Manfred Man, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We wrapped it up with a bit of 5-star
Yeah.
for Minute, something about,
Can't wait.
yeah, can't wait another
Can't
minute.
wait another minute.
So, they're the answers.
I'm so
Well, it's like, right, listen, when I was a kid, right, and it's alright for you to go into women's toilets when you're a kid, it's like, oh, it's a bit cute,
Yeah.
right, as long as you're not, like, over 15 or something, right?
Right.
But when I was a kid, I went into a toilet, and women, when they use their little cubicles, they don't shut the door. Some of them just sit down on the toilet,
Yeah.
right, and you see everything. And, no, seriously, that's probably one of the first times I saw, like, a woman.
Yeah.
That, right, and my Auntie Nora when she was staying over.
What happened with your Auntie Nora?
She was, she's into wearing caftans.
Into wearing what?
You know, caftans.
Oh, yeah.
What caftans?
Big, bellowy sort of dresses.
Right, right.
And, yeah, I used to sit on the floor at home in front of the telly.
Sure.
She was on the chair behind.
Yeah.
She did a bit of a sort of a Sharon Stone scene.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
There was no underwear?
No.
What age were you?
What was it like?
What age were
It
you?
was like a ripped tennis ball. Because I read it and kind of started having sort of memories of Auntie Nora again.
Yeah.
Because she used to always like.
Now, Auntie Nora is the woman
Who farted for 5 minutes.
She had wind for 5 minutes.
Sure.
Yeah.
But she also she used to say, "Oh, Karl, rub me back." Right. And with her being quite old, it was all sort of mouldy and warty.
It was mouldy?
No,
Mouldy.
sort of mouldy.
Right.
And what did you do?
I didn't like it. I hated it. In
It
fact,
was like reading a braille book.
Yeah.
it was like putting your hand in a load of Cocoa Pops.
Oh, dear.
All really big brown things. And I just thought framing hers would be sort of 3D-ish.
Right. Yeah. What's that, a chunk of the moon? No.
Yeah. Did you artex that wall?
Yeah. That's Auntie Nora.
That's Auntie Nora's back. Oh, God.
Any piece of your body, Karl, that you'd like to leave behind? for
That's
posterity?
disgusting. Putting your hand into them. Is she the one with the split tennis ball when she wasn't wearing
Shut
knickers?
up.
That's the
What?
one.
No, let's not discuss the tennis ball.
Okay.
So she used to get you to sort of knead her dough on her back.
God, this is really bad.
But like, what would she with her dress or whatever? Or
She wore those sort of squid-looking things that
Sorry, what?
what? Those squid-looking.
Hey, Auntie Nora covered octopuses. What are you talking about? What do you mean
It's
she wore?
it's like a nightgown type thing,
But
but
what's squid got to do with it?
because it sort of looked like a squid around the edge.
Oh, I know, frilly things. Yeah.
And she just said, I'm aching there. Oh. She was never well. She was never. Do you know what I mean? She's always had something wrong with her. I don't ask her how she is. It's just like she's not going to be all right.
Did she have wind when you were sort of neat? It must have been like playing an accordion.
Yeah, get a little tune going.
Oh, who's your auntie with the tattoos?
That's Hazel.
Oh right, yeah.
Let's leave that.
Why?
Oh, let's
Why?
not talk about
Well, leave it. What have I come across there?
What's up with Auntie Hazel?
What's up with Auntie Hazel?
There's nothing wrong with her.
What?
It's just a
What?
just a lesbian, which is nothing wrong with that.
Well, no, but you've made it sound like there is now by not wanting to say it. My auntie's a
I know
lesbian.
what you're saying, though. I know what you're getting at. Just because I call her Uncle Hazel.
Play a record. Is only your family left in Manchester because they all moved away, didn't they? You came here. Your dad's moved to Wales, for Christ's sake. Well, your family are all around the. Brother joined the army to get anywhere. Just take me anywhere.
We don't know where he is.
His sister's moved away, so no
Ireland.
one. Yeah, there you go. You see. So that's just one family. That's one family who love Manchester.
Exactly.
All right.
Tell you what, Steve.
Go on.
Look what I did find out in the week.
Yeah.
World record, right? Person with the longest trump,
With the longest what?
wind, fart,
Right.
right? 2 minutes 42 is the world record,
Okay.
right?
Well, I'm immediately thinking about a relative of yours who I'm sure did longer than
Who
that.
still lives in Manchester.
Auntie Nora.
Now, Auntie Nora did it for how long? 5 minutes, wasn't
Reportedly,
it?
starfighter for 5 minutes, but unfortunately, she was the only person in the room. Whereas I think which one's alive, Ross or Norris McWhirter?
I don't know, actually.
He has to be there.
Yeah, I think he actually has to
He'd
be
have
present.
to be there.
Would
Just-
you want to be there?
Well, he'd have sort of equipment and looking at his watch, going, finish. You go, yeah. He goes, well, that was 4
Did
minutes.
she
59
go from like a
seconds.
size 10 to a size 6? Did
She just
she show some old dresses?
like a hovercraft.
Exactly.
In a big dress.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
slightly off. Yeah. So, it has to be invigilated.
But again, you know, how was the Guinness Book of World Records one invigilated? I mean, who was supervising that? Who was
He said,
monitoring that?
I can fart for 2 minutes. They went, well, we've got to see this. Went round. And, he just probably let it rip. It's probably circular breathing. He's probably sort of sucking in air and swallowing it as he's going. And it's a continuous one, isn't it? It's not like, yeah.
I mean, it said, that's how Nora's happened. Me Auntie Nora. She had a little bit of wind. It went on for like 2.5 minutes.
Sure.
That's when she called me Mum
As it was still going on.
and said there's something not right here.
I'm
And
leaking.
she said, "Oh, can you send your dad round? You know, my dad."
Yeah.
Sent to me Mum.
With a cork.
And
With a lighter. I think this would be the best one
I want
ever.
to show the kids something.
he said, "I'll be there in a bit. Get the windows open." But what it was down to, because I was talking to
Is
my
she
mum
the
and
one
dad
with the
about
split tennis ball?
it. Yeah.
Can we
I was
not talk
talk-
about that again?
I was talking to my mum and dad about it, saying, you know, why do you think it happened and that? And it's because she never chucks food away, right? And she'll sort of mash it all up, and she's got all these ice cream tubs in the fridge that are just full
Cabbage
of, like,
water.
old mashed up food.
Really?
And she prepares everything. Right, she doesn't work, she's retired now, she's got nothing to do all day, but everything's got to be ready
Still
for
calls
her.
in sick.
Do you know what I mean? Everything's got to be done. Even though, if you're going round to her house, and you're going there for tea, it's like, what time are you coming? And it's like, well, I don't know, maybe 5, maybe 6.
Yeah,
Well,
you're
no,
late,
I need
because
to
you're
know,
late
I
when you
need
have to
to
meet
know.
us at 5 or 6.
Do you know what I mean? That's
But
what...
sorry, when you say she mashes up food, she literally takes the remnants of a dinner, could be sort of some...
Anything.
And just smashes it all up into a...
Yeah.
And then what does she do with it?
Put it in the fridge, and she's got it in the fridge, it's like January, February, March, she's got all these ice cream boxes that are just full of...
But she doesn't... She reheats it and eats it.
Oh, then she,
I
puts it in
thought
a
she was
pan.
just keeping it as a
No, no,
souvenir
no.
of each meal she'd had.
No, put it in a pan, warm it up.
Oh,
And
that's
what it is, it's just...
A lot of vegetation, is it?
Yeah.
Why has it only happened once, or does she save it up once a year, just let it go?
I don't know. Well, she is mad,
Yeah, she sounds potty.
She doesn't answer the phone anymore in case there's a burglar. Checking if she's in. It's like, well, answer it and then they'll know you are in and they won't come round.
Yeah.
Mental.
Well,
Mental.
they can't be sure then, can they?
What do you mean?
Well, if there's no, I go, well, maybe it's someone just... They are in, but they're hiding, whereas if Auntie Nora goes, it's Auntie Nora. We can she'll be farting. We can sneak in when she does a loud one. Because we'll be aware of the telly, what's stopping it? It's got a valance round it, it's got caught on the cat. Won a phone call from his mum, stressed him a little bit.
Right.
Something he said in a magazine about his auntie. Came back to haunt him.
Auntie Nora?
Auntie Nora, yeah.
Don't name her.
Oh,
She
no,
knows
don't
who
name
she
her.
is.
No. Okay, we won't name her, right? We'll just say it's the one who farted for 5 minutes and as he saw a skirt when he was young and found it like a split tennis
So
ball.
it could be any of me aunties.
So other stressful things.
But so anyway, what's the Auntie Nora thing? Sorry, Auntie X.
Auntie X.
What did she...
Yeah.
Why is she upset?
Well, he mentioned her in Zoo. He did this thing for Zoo magazine, and he mentioned about when he looked up her dress. She had a...
Yeah, by accident, remember?
No, I'm not suggesting you were going around looking up your elderly relatives' dresses in case they weren't wearing...
For people who've not heard Karl talk about this in the past,
Yeah.
just explain quickly again what we're talking about.
Right.
He didn't want to talk about it at all.
When I was a kid, right, Auntie Nora used to come round. My auntie used to come round.
As if there's any ambiguity now. Yeah.
My auntie used to come round and that, and stay, right? And I'm sat on the floor watching the telly, right? She's sat on the sofa with a caftan on. I turn round, right, and it was there.
It was looking back
at me, right? And we've mentioned this, and I just briefly sort of said, what did it look like? And, you know, a split tennis ball came to mind. That's what we talked about, right? So anyway, Zoo magazine, when they did the interview...
And she's the one that used to put a valance on everything, isn't it?
Well, not everything, obviously. So anyway, so I've done this...
So you did interview in Zoo.
Yeah, and like they said, you know, again, it was like, you know, do you plan stuff and do you worry about stuff when, after you've done the show, you're worried you've upset anyone? And, you know, I was saying, really, I forget people are listening. And, you know, we're just having a chat with mates and that. I said, but now and again, I do worry, when I'm on my way home from the show and that, and I'm thinking about what we've talked about. And I was saying, you know, the Auntie Nora Auntie Nora incident.
Yeah. Incident! That's Watergate!
Yeah.
And, anyway, so this was in there, right? And I was saying in the magazine, you know, but I think I got away with it. She doesn't listen to the show, but, you know, and I don't think she reads Zoo magazine, so...
She's more of a nuts woman. Sure, yeah.
So, anyway, so my mum calls up the other week, right? And she goes, wish you wouldn't, you know, talk about Auntie Nora and that. And, I was like, oh, so how do you know about that? She goes, well, one of your cousins have called us up and said they've read the article about it. So yeah, that's why we don't want to talk about it, really.
So he stitched you up.
So do you know what Auntie X has made of this? Do you know if she was upset or not?
Well, she doesn't know about it.
Because, I mean, maybe she's always thought it looked like a split tennis ball. Maybe you're just in sync, you know, because you're relatives and stuff. Maybe she knew instantly. Even if you hadn't named her, she'd have thought, hang on, I farted for 5 minutes once.
Yeah, that's not gonna be ambiguous,
well
is it?
be me.
If you is like someone who farted for 5 minutes and's got found like a split tennis ball, you're gonna go, I wonder if he means me.
Yeah.
You're gonna remember
or
that.
Auntie Jackie. It could be Auntie Jackie.
Oh, God.
My mum phoned and said that my Auntie Nora, classic Auntie Nora, wanted me to look on the internet to find out what the weather would be like in Spain at the end of November. I don't know where she gets her money from. 2 months ago, she was asking me dad how much it would be to get her back garden astroturfed, because she's sick and tired of the grass getting out of
What does
hand.
she want to do? Start a football team? What does she want to back garden astroturf?
She likes the sort of green look, but she doesn't like the headache that comes with it, so she's just looking into getting that false grass put in there.
Brilliant.
Don't know how much it is.
They always say when you get someone a present, you should buy them something they wouldn't buy themselves. Daft rule. I want something I would buy myself if I had the money. When I was young, me Auntie Nora got me a present I wouldn't buy myself. It was a t-shirt with her face on.
Right, tell us about this woman.
Well, it was just because you were saying about the, you know, our living.
We are broadcasting now, aren't we? This is actually going out, this is live. This isn't us sort of like...
Yeah,
sort
but
of-
you were just talking about how I lived in an odd village
Yeah.
with kids with big heads and all that, right? And what I wanted to do.
What is that again? There's 2 kids with big heads.
Yeah, they just had sort of big heads and webbed hands and that. They went to my school, and when I spoke to my dad the other day, because I'm going to see my mum and dad tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
So I said, "Oh, have we got any school photographs with the big-headed kids in?" And he said, "No, nobody bought those sort of school photos because they were in it, so it was always a bit ruined." But I said, "Well,
No!
no." He said sales were, you know, because he obviously talked to other dads and stuff like that, and he just said, "Oh, no one bought them." But anyway, so
I would love them!
Yeah.
That's why I'd buy them.
yeah, but I wouldn't stand out, would I? If it's
that's
on the
saying
mantelpiece.
Well, yeah, well.
So, but anyway, so I was talking about, you know,
When you say they had big heads, what do you mean? Do they look like someone from Doctor Who?
they were just quite big.
But they weren't related.
No.
So why did 2 blokes with big heads and webbed feet?
I lived in a weird area. There was a
there
a chemical plant close by.
I can't believe you've never told us that before. That explains a lot. Not just the freaks in your neighbourhood, but
No,
yours truly.
there was loads of weird stuff going on. There was this, like I said, there was this woman who used to like live in one of the council flats, right? And she had a 3-wheeled sort of big, what do you call it?
Son, 3-wheeled son. He was the weirdest bloke we ever knew.
Well, they call it like a big tricycle, but for an adult rather than one for a kid. It was a big
It
one.
wasn't a motorbike though. It was a
No, it was a push bike thing.
yeah.
And she used to sort of ride down the road with a fella sat in the basket on the back with his like legs dangling over, and they'd be going to like the pub and what have you.
Was it a different fella each time or the same one?
Yeah.
Little sort of bald-headed fella.
So it wasn't collection for like organs and things. Bring out your ale. And then just people just throw Grandad just in the back and go, right, we're getting £4 for Grandad.
But she used
He's got a
to be
lovely
quite...
pair of testicles on him. They're very low, but they're
Bring out
extremely...
your dead or nearly dead.
She used to pick on her husband quite a lot. They'd be in the pub and what have you, and they'd be sat by themselves, but she'd always be sort of, you know, having a go at him, moaning at him, sort of pushing him about and that. So my dad and his mate, right, they went round to their house, knocked on the door, she answered, and he said he was a copper, right? He said, you know, Detective Pilkington, gonna come in and have a word.
So I'm just going to make a note of impersonating a police officer.
But for the good, he went in and sort of said, now, I've heard,
It's the superhero.
Yeah.
I've heard, you know, you picking on your husband a lot.
Yeah.
We'll be keeping an eye on you. Do it again, and there'll be trouble. And she backed off after that. She
That's
was
good.
alright.
And how was the husband? Was he still in the basket though? Was he allowed to ever sort of like ride up front with her? Or was he just always in the
No,
basket?
he just she'd sort of stopped picking on him in public places and stuff.
That's
like that.
good.
Just
You
did it
can't,
behind
you
closed
can't
doors.
get done, can you, just for doing that?
I think impersonating a police officer.
Well,
is
you
a criminal
probably did.
offence.
There was no gain. I think you can't impersonate a police officer full stop, but I think they'd probably be lenient on him that he was, you know. But let's face it. It's, you know, he's not going to be caught because why would anyone know about it? It's not like his son's going to say it on a radio station, is it? And stitch him right up.
Is this something you did generally? Kind of a little bit of light vigilante work?
Just whatever, him and his mate, just, you know, if they saw something going on, they go, what can we do? What little scam can we do, or whatever.
That's fantastic. That is brilliant. Right, okay, coming up, Knob News.
And Monkey News.
And Monkey News. Could I just say also that I do not advocate the use of vices on friends' heads. It's dangerous. Do not squeeze your mate's head in a vice. That's just between me and Karl, and, you know. And
Gervais is an experienced annoyer.
And he probably wouldn't let me do it, to be honest. I have to offer him an awful lot of money. Also, do not smoke. There's no point. And floss. I wish I'd flossed when I was a kid. Also, if you've got a bicycle or anything like that for Christmas, please wear the correct safety gear.
Whoa.
What?
Well, I got a bike as a kid.
Yeah.
Right? And my dad, you know, I think the helmets used to come with them and what have you. I popped it on, went out on my bike, coming back into the garden. Dad sees me. He said, "Come here." I said, "What?" He said, "I never want to see you wearing that helmet again. You look ridiculous."
Tell that story that you were telling me about your dad when he was driving.
Well, it's just that you were talking about. Well, I mentioned Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
And the Forrest Gump types. When my dad was when he was a taxi driver,
Yeah.
you used to have to sort of do your bit for the local area.
Oh God.
By taking the
Yeah.
Forrest Gump people to Blackpool.
Yeah.
Is that what they're called now, the Forrest Gump people? Is that what the organisations that support them asked for them to be referred to?
A minibus with life is a box of chocolates. .com.
Well,
Forrest Gump types.
It must be. So you work with these people.
It was yeah.
The people with learning difficulties.
Yeah. And they used to get 5.
Coming home must have been a busman's holiday.
So he got 5 of them in the cab.
Yeah.
And he had to go to Blackpool, and 4 of them were really good, you know, behaving themselves, didn't mess about, weren't fighting and stuff, but there was one who was just causing loads of trouble and they couldn't control him.
Oh,
and what you've got to be able to do with people like that, you don't want them to get stressed out because it's not good for them. It stresses them out, and you could end up with a bit
Thanks, Dr. Karl.
you could end up with a bit of a riot on your hands. So he thought, I'll nip this one in the bud right now, and he pulled up just on the outskirts of Blackpool, and he took the one out that was causing problems and put it in a wheelie bin.
Oh no! Oh, I'm sorry. I apologise.
He did what?
Oh,
He did it for the good of the others. He put it in a wheelie bin. He was having a good time. He thought it was one of the rides.
Can you stop saying it?
Him.
Yeah.
He you know, he was having a good time, and once he calmed down, my dad went back and picked him up, and he was fine. He had a good.
What?
day.
He left him in there the whole time the others were in Blackpool?
No, he left him there. Not the whole day. Probably about an hour and a half
In a wheelie bin.
in a wheelie bin.
Why couldn't he get out?
Because like his arms were trapped on the thing. It's one of those one.
What, he tied him up?
No, do you know like because he was a big fella, and like he managed to get him in so his arms were down the side like that, so he was a bit trapped.
Wasn't he screaming and crying and stuff?
He was making a bit of noise, but do you know what I mean?
What, you feel served him right?
Well, but anyway, I didn't really want to talk about it. He just brought it up because of Forrest Gump.
Did his family know about this? Is this the first time they'd have heard about this?
He didn't get asked to do it again. Because he had another problem similar to it where he had a little minibus, and it was his job to take a load of old women to the bingo hall, and it was miles away. And he took him there. There was no problem. About 10 old women in a minibus.
One of them was causing trouble. So he pulled over it.
No, right, so he took him there, everything's fine, he dropped him off, they had a lovely night, right, they had a lovely night, won a bit of cash, coming back, it's a bit of a late night, and they all started moaning at him, going, I want to be dropped off here, take me there, I want to be dropped off first, I've got to get up early, blah blah, you know, my husband's expecting me, I'm already late, take me here first, take me there, and he just pulled up, in the middle of nowhere, said, get out. And he made them get out, and they all called for taxis. They charged that company who was meant to be taking him home in the minibus, and he got the sack. But a similar sort of story. You can't be dealing with it when people don't sort of just calm down and like solve the situation.
Yeah.
They're just all like, I want to be dropped off first, take me here first, take me.
Yeah, so he acts like a madman.
Same thing happened when I was at school and I had to play drums in Little Donkey. I didn't tell my parents, right? But my dad turned up anyway. And what happened?
He
How old were you, Carl?
well, it was the school that I used to go to.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
so
Oh
secondary-
yeah. You went.
secondary.
You used to go to the school you used to go to.
No, but what I mean
Go
is,
on.
I didn't go to secondary, did I? Sort of missed a lot of that.
Sure.
But primary, I liked.
Oh,
it was all colouring in and stuff.
Yep.
And it was a Christmas play, and I managed to get a part in it. And,
Did you audition?
got a part in it, and I should have been playing the drums to the one about Kings.
We Three Kings.
Yeah. I was meant to be doing that, but Little Donkey came on, and it was one of those.
What do you mean came on?
That was like next up on the next song.
Right.
And it's one of them songs that you can't help sort of
tapping along to.
Yeah. Do you know like if I was to go
yeah, you'd have to finish it with.
Yeah. Do you know that they actually send that into space?
Do they?
And
what, hoping that aliens will respond with that?
Yeah. They do that because apparently it is one of them things that you can't help.
What, even if you're an alien life form?
Yeah.
They know that, do they?
Yeah. But anyway.
What, because they watch Star Trek or something?
No. Knock, knock.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
Is it true, like, if you send out knock, knock into space, yeah, they have to say that.
Oggy, oggy, oggy.
Yeah.
Oh, that is great.
Seriously.
Oh, hold on, what's something out there? What's a little green fella? That is great.
Yeah. So anyway,
that is
Little Donkey is like one of them tunes that you can't. And I was there, and I had the drumstick, and I thought, oh god,
the drumstick.
I could feel myself. And anyway,
just wanting to do it, yeah.
I started going along and playing Little Donkey, which I wasn't meant to do, but it went down such a storm.
What, were there people like parents and that dozing off, and then suddenly they heard your version of Little Donkey, they thought, wait a minute, now it's really picking up.
What do you mean?
I'm glad we paid £1.50 for this.
What do you mean it went down such a storm? They're going, hold on, was it like when
People have
Ringo...
lighters in the air.
It was like when Ringo joined the Beatles, now going, boo, Pete Best, but he went...
Yeah,
and they went, whoa! Oh,
No,
God.
but the teacher just said, oh, it went down really well, you can do that again tonight.
Right.
When you're in it again. But anyway, so my dad was there, and
you hadn't told him about this performance, so
no,
he
I
just
never
turned
did.
up off his own back.
I never took the letters home and stuff to
No.
show my mum and dad because it just put me off. So anyway, he turned up. Don't know why. He must have heard from someone else's dad.
Yeah.
He turned up and he swore about me, which
did he?
I don't.
Could you use
a
a word
that's allowed to be said? The word.
Of course it is.
Right. If you got a kid in the car or anything, you can turn it down now.
Yeah.
Right. But he said. There was a guy stood next to him with a camera, big video camera, filming it, and he said, "Yeah, film it, but try and avoid getting the twat in the hat in the shot, because I had one of those porters, you know, the little round pork pie hats on."
Right.
This is so sad.
What was this a nativity play?
It was about Jesus and stuff.
Yeah, well, there was a porter there helping him with his bags.
Of course there was. I forgot.
I
yeah.
mean, Mary and
What,
Joseph,
managing the
they got
stable?
there. Yeah, because
Sure.
it was the whole, you know, because the inn was full.
Yes.
But I think the porter doubled up with the inn and the stable.
Right, that was nice.
So
of
he,
him.
yeah,
He'd
yeah,
carry bags over, yeah.
yeah. No, so yeah.
You're right though. I don't know why I was wearing one of them, but I was. And
And your father said that. And how did you know your father said that? Did you
he told
hear
me
it?
about it later.
Oh, he told you about it later.
Yeah, I was talking about stuff I'd done at school, and he said, "Oh God, remember that?" And I spoke to him the other day about it,
Right.
and yeah,
Oh,
it's a
God.
shame.
So that was the end of your sort of drumming career, really, because it could have been. I mean, you know, the audience loved it the night before.
Yeah.
You could have like been, who knows, a whole new world for you.
Yeah,
Have
that
you
is.
done any stuff?
I've never drummed. I wish I had. Man. I wish
But
I had.
that is
That's a movie story. But
is that, and that's why you don't, and you don't tell, you still, your mum and dad don't know you on the radio, do
they
they?
think when they were down the other weekend, they had to come in. I just said, "Oh, I'll just go in and press the buttons."
Because they could listen on Sky Digital, couldn't they?
They could do. My mum and dad, right? They moved to this little house, right? And they had loads of furniture that they collected over the years without chucking out, and they've moved to this small house, so they just had too much furniture, right? And they had this double bed, and that was for like, you know, when friends come round and that they can stay there. But the problem was he wanted to sort of put these wardrobes in the bedroom, right?
right,
That went on either side of the bed.
sort of wrapped around
Because
the bed.
yeah, but because the room was so small, he thought I can sort that out,
Yeah.
right? And he sawed the bed.
He sawed the bed.
He sawed the whole thing, so you've got like your mattress, your bed, and everything. And
What? He
sort
just
of
sliced some off.
Like a big sandwich, just cut a bit off
just
here.
cut the crust off.
About how much is that? Would you say?
About 8 inches, 6
About
inches.
8 inches.
But hold on, but that
What, he
won't
cut
work. Because it'll all fall out the side, and then what happened to the springs and all the supports and stuff?
He
It'll just
sorted it
collapse.
out. It didn't all come out and that. I mean, it's not the comfiest bed. but the weird thing is, he did it, and even though it's only like that 8 inches or whatever, it totally ruined it. It's
Yeah.
like,
Well, of course it would.
no, but what do you think I mean? I don't mean it ruined it as in it looks a mess.
No, it would have been uncomfortable.
Not even that though. Just the fact it's that little bit shorter. It's like, God, for 2 people, this is hard work now. This is like you haven't got enough room, even though it's only 8 inches.
Why did he build the wardrobes first without measuring, putting the?
I think he did all that and then thought, oh, it'll easily fit in there, and it didn't. So he had to sort of saw a bit off the bed. But it's just weird how only 8 inches.
Did he use one of those electric saws?
Yeah.
And
That's
presumably there was just kind of sort of material and wood just flying everywhere.
What did he do with the legs? Did he have to move the legs in a bit?
He moved the legs. Looking at it, right, once it's got like the quilt on it and everything, you wouldn't know. I was like, yeah, that's alright, you've done a good job.
Yeah.
And I went to bed at night, he's like, sleep well. Got up in the morning after having about 45 minutes sleep and said, something not right with that.
Yeah.
You really are your father's son, aren't you?
I said,
That's not right
it's
with
not
that.
right. And he said, oh, well, I said, what have you done? It doesn't seem the same. And he said, oh, I had to shorten it, sort of thing, to fit in the gap. I said, well, I can't sleep in it. I said, and there was a big kerfuffle. My mum was saying, look, you have our bed then, and we'll sleep in that one. And my dad was like, sod that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ruined. Some idiot cut it.
Yeah.
So there was a big debate going on about where we should sleep, and I was saying, look, I only come and see you like every couple of, probably once every 6 months.
I'm not being funny, but next time we go home, can I film it? Just for, Channel 4 or something.
Well, the Osbournes is not on at the moment. The Pilkingtons. That would be extraordinary.
Oh, can we film it?
That's brilliant.
Is anyone from Channel 5 listening to this show?
Or Bravo.
Yeah.
The Pilkingtons.
Weird though. Right, I'd just been away with my mum and dad and that. And one of the things I always like doing is having a good chat with my dad about stuff he got up to when he was a kid and that.
Yeah.
Right, because he got up to loads of stuff, and every time I see him, he tells me something, and I thought, it's like, why are you just telling me that now? It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Right? So,
I mean, to me, he's kind of like Ronnie Biggs or someone. He's just the most extraordinary kind of.
Well, this happened, right?
character.
I can't remember. There was a delay yesterday. There was problems on the Paddington line, and he was saying, "Oh, trains aren't what they used to be."
Sure.
He said, I was looking.
They used to be horses, didn't they?
Well, he was looking in the booklet, and it was saying how you can have your bags collected if you want, but it costs you £5.
Yeah.
So that's outrageous.
Sure, of course.
Right. So he said that's the problem with this country. We've got good with computers and that, but when it comes to like getting service, it's gone out the window.
Yeah.
Right. So he said when I worked on the trains, and he was going on like this, that, and the other. So I said, oh, I didn't know you worked on the trains. He said, yeah, when I was 18, right, it was his job to get the coal, right, and chuck it in the engine, right. And one day he's in Grand Central Station in Manchester, which is now the GMEX Centre,
right,
and that was like the main station, and he was in there. The fella who should have been sort of driving the train, right, he said, oh, I'm just nipping to the pub.
Sure.
So you just stay here, keep the engine topped up and stuff.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah.
For a quick getaway.
Yeah.
Right? So the fella goes in the pub, and my dad's in there, putting the coal on. He did his bacon and eggs on a little shovel.
Yeah, yeah.
And anyway, fella comes up. He says, right, can you move the train forward now?
Oh, blimey.
So he was like, oh. So he didn't want to say, oh, the fella's in the pub, because he'd know he'd say, well, what's he doing in the pub? He should be working, right? So he said, yeah, no problem. I'll sort it out. Right. So he puts it into gear or whatever you do on them trains.
Sure,
right?
puts it into first, yeah.
Starts going forward. Now, people who don't know about trains, something that I learnt is if you're carrying a load of coal or whatever on the back of it, they don't have brakes on each carriage, right? It's only the engine that has brakes on it. So when you pull the brakes on the engine, the whole weight of what it's pulling is pushing you forward.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So he doesn't realise this though, because he's just used to cooking bacon and eggs and chucking coal.
Of course,
and
yeah.
right?
So you've got to slam the brakes on sooner than you would normally.
Yeah.
Well, you have to anticipate it, I suppose. Yeah.
But he didn't know that, so he's pulling in. He's thinking, right,
Well,
I'll put the brakes on now.
Yeah.
Right. Puts the brakes on. The train just keeps going. He's going, oh god, it's not stopping.
Sure.
It ploughs right through the signal box. Right. Loads
The
of
baboon
damage.
pulling the signals don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Loads of damage done. Apparently, if it was today's money, it'd be about £3 to £4 million worth of damage. It shut the station off for 4 weeks. But he didn't lose his job. The fella lost his job, the one who was in the pub.
Yeah.
He said the funny thing was, he said like £4 million worth of damage. He did his ankle, his wrist in. He had 3 weeks off sick and got paid. So it's brilliant. So
I love your family.
It's extraordinary. The Pilkington gene.
weird, isn't it?
I'd like to see a documentary following you and your family. You'd have to get the family involved.
No, the sort of stuff my dad goes on about. They'd never put it on telly. Oh, talking about my dad. Steve, you'll love this, right?
Go on.
My dad hates being ripped off, right?
Yes. Well, no, I can relate to that. That's important.
Hates coming to London now. He always wants me to go and see them rather than come here, because he just thinks London is like a big rip-off. Last time he came, he got annoyed because I bought him a scone and a cup of tea for like 3 of us, and it was £14, and he just was livid. And then we had an argument about that, and then we went to the Millennium Wheel, and I said, "Do you fancy going on this?" He said, "Oh, all right." And then he saw the price, and it was something like 20 quid or something, and he said, 20 quid to go up in the air to look at stuff that's on the ground. He said, "I might as well stay on the ground."
Brilliant.
Right? Thought, good point.
His logic is impeccable.
So anyway, this is going on. Anyway, he spoke to me the other day. I said, "How are things? Are they all right?" And that. He said, "Oh, being ripped off." I said, "Why?" He said he ordered. Do you know the place where he got a new bed from because he cut the other one in half?
Yeah.
Right. He got this bed out of a catalogue. So he sorted out a payment on the phone. He said, "Look, you're ripping me off a bit here on the interest thing, but well, let's do a deal. We'll sort out a new monthly payment that's different to what it says in the catalogue." And they said, "Yeah, we'll go along with that." Anyway, so he sorted that out. He was happy. The bed arrived. It's a nice bed. He said, "That's great." So anyway, he got the bill for it, and it was the original price.
Oh, I thought it might be the case, yeah.
Right? So he called up and said, "I'm not happy with this." He said, we said a deal. And "Oh, no, you don't know what you're talking about." He said, "Right, don't send me your catalogues anymore." He said, I'm not buying anything from you. You're a rip-off merchants." Right? So anyway, few weeks go by. Post comes, only another catalogue in the post.
He's livid.
Right, so he was well annoyed.
Yeah.
So he looked on the back, and it said on it, "This catalogue will always be property of, the company that does it. So you can't throw it away. If we request to have it back, we've got the permission to get it back off you." Right? So he thought, right, well, they're out of order. I told them not to send me one, and they have done, and they're saying I can't chuck it away. So he called them up and said, "All right, Mr. Pilkington here, bought a bed off you, you conned me, and that. But, forget that. We've dealt with that. You've sent me a catalogue, I told you not to. It says on the back here that this will always be yours. Yeah? So, in a way, you're using my house as a warehouse. I'll be charging you 26 pence or something a day."
Brilliant.
He said, "You already owe me £6.28. Something like that.
Genius.
And, sorted it out. So again, it's just...
So hang on, but are they going along with this?
I don't know what happened. He said they sounded annoyed and said they'd get back to him, and they haven't. But he said, "I'm not bothered. They can take as long as they want because the money just keeps going up."
Yeah.
So,
what sort of profit has he made so far?
Well, when I spoke to him in the week, it was like £6 odd.
Yeah.
I think that was on Tuesday. So he's just leaving it. It's like an investment.
Yeah.
It's like
It's like an antique. He's bought.
It's just going up every day. So.
Well, keep us posted on that. That's dynamite. One day we need to speak to your father.
Yeah, I think so.
So many questions need to be asked of him.
In fact, I might set and give you a letter to take home.
Yeah.
Dear Mr. Pilkington. Steve?
Yes.
I think Karl's going to put most people to shame. We were talking about generosity earlier. Because Karl is a nice, generous bloke when it really comes to it. He's paying for Father's Day. He's paying for the cottage that he's going away with his dad.
Are you really, Karl?
Yeah.
Right. Well, there's no way of us proving if that's true or not.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, you could be lying.
But why would I do that?
Well, because you want to show off.
I didn't do it on air. You mentioned it. I don't want people to know how generous I am. I just do it. Just get on with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like charity work and that.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I'd have thought that you wouldn't have fallen for Father's Day. I'd have thought you'd have known it was like...
Well, we don't. I mean, to be honest, there's a bit of a coincidence, because I paid for it anyway, and it's happened to fall on Father's Day. Right?
But don't
and my
buy a
dad's
card.
not normally that bothered.
Don't fall for it. I mean, obviously that and Mother's Day and a plethora of other things were, literally invented by card companies to make more money.
I know.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, my dad always says don't get him a card or anything, because he hates it. With all these things that I'd like, rip-off times, really, just ripping people off.
Yeah.
Sounds a bit stingy, that.
Well, no. I mean, he's right.
Yeah.
He's right. It's just because fellas aren't bothered about getting cards anyway, are they? But the other thing that he noticed, helping out the flower companies, the Princess Diana thing when she.
Oh, Sorry.
Yeah.
No.
Jesus Christ. God.
So when
Karl, what do you mean? What
that's
do you
the-
mean?
That's what he said. He said, "Oh,
I nearly swore then because I was. You surprise me all the time.
no, I'm
But
just
that is incredible.
sorry, what? I don't understand. What are you talking
all the
about?
flowers that were sort of sold that day.
Right. What for
Right.
people to leave as a commemoration? Or
Yeah,
what?
they made a mint, didn't they?
Who did?
Flower companies.
Right. So what
So
are you
you're
saying?
saying
So he was just saying, makes you wonder.
what whether
About what?
it was Interflora behind the hit?
Oh,
So it's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy by the flower
I would
companies.
love to see you and your dad just sitting at home watching a bit of Channel 5 when apes go mental, right? With your
when's
roast
that
dinner,
on? When's that on?
and then talk like, well, yeah, well, you know, kill Diana, don't you? Flower company's son, right, quite right, Dad. You're not wrong. What are you talking about?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying it's like you were saying about the cards. On Father's
Convenient
Day
is
and
what
that.
you're saying.
It's just a
coincidence.
bit
Too much of a
bit weird.
coincidence. Too much of a coincidence.
I'd be interested to see sort of like the business graph
Sure.
on how the companies were doing. Then suddenly,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. But then by the same token, Elton John, he had the biggest selling hit record, didn't he, off the back of that?
Mm.
I mean, so is he incriminated as well?
If you want, I mean,
It's a
put him in
conspiracy
there, put
theory
him in
you've
there.
not kind of analysed terribly closely. You've put it out there, and if people maybe who are investigating want to kind of add that into their inquiries, then they can.
yeah.
Sure.
But no, that's all I'm saying. I'm just because it's always the same thing, isn't it? Like I was out shopping the other day, treating Suzanne like I do. I like spending money and that.
Yeah.
I was in WH Smith's.
Yeah. Oh, classy. What was it? Was it a big birthday? Was it? Was it her 30th?
No, I was getting a.
Was it 2 biros for the price of 1?
I was getting a card for my dad for Father's Day anyway because I'm seeing him.
Yeah.
Big Toblerone.
Yeah.
There was a
Who
giant
is it? Who is it who said Father's Day? They love a Toblerone.
I've never understood Toblerone because the only time I see Toblerone is in airports,
Yeah.
right? And minibars. That is what the small Toblerone is for the minibar in a hotel, 3-star upwards. And the big Toblerone.
Well, it's the big Toblerone is a gift, isn't it? It can only be a gift. You wouldn't buy a big Toblerone for yourself.
Yeah, a duty-free gift. The Toblerone. It's next to Chanel No. 5 Toblerone and a bear.
But it's who specifically would you be buying that Toblerone for?
I don't know.
Someone who's clearly never had it before and would think it was interesting novelty.
Yeah.
Well, this gift's interesting.
I'll tell you what though, Toblerone is brilliant. I mean, if whoever makes that, if they want to send sort of some Toblerones, I will eat Toblerone.
Well, yeah. I think very much the same about. I think very much the same about fags
And of
just
course,
cigarettes. If you've got any boxes of cigarettes
And,
that you don't want, duty free or whatever, send them.
I'd just like to say that in no way do I endorse Karl's dad's theory that flower companies were behind the death of Diana.
No,
maybe I could say that on there as well.
Anne Robinson.
Just don't want people
Knowing what you
knowing
look
what I
like.
look like and that.
Why?
Were you on the DVD?
Yeah, but
It's to public domain. Anyone can take it off there and put it on the paper now.
but that's extras on a DVD, and I'm just thinking not that many people. If they watch it, they won't take it in, stuff like that.
What are you worried about then?
Just I don't. There's like me brother and sister and stuff who I don't see anymore. If they know what I look like now, they might.
What do you mean if they know what you look like now? They've just got to imagine little Karl Pilkington with no hair.
No, I've changed quite a lot because I work hard, don't I? So I've aged quite badly. Right. And I'm just thinking if they
You used to have the hair of a Chinaman,
But
didn't you?
sorry, why is it a problem for your brother and sister to see you and to?
because I don't see them anymore, do I? And they'll come out of the woodwork now.
Well, they're after your millions.
No, so they're sitting at home, they're looking at Heat, and there goes Karl Pilkington, oh, Karl's my brother, my brother, oh, maybe I'll go and see him.
I don't want that hassle.
But they could find out where you are.
What's the hassle then?
It's just hassle of having friends and family and that.
You mean this, don't you?
Yeah, it's that I'm not into having.
But
mates
if
and
either
that.
your brother or your sister came to your door, would you not welcome them in and give them a cup of tea?
Do you know what? He bumped into his sister, right, after about 7 years, in a car park somewhere, right? And she went, oh, I've got a picture of my new kid, do you want to see it? He went, not really, all kids look the same. And she went off in half.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but that's the problem though, isn't it? She hadn't seen me for years and years, That's the way I am. I'm not like being rude or anything. I'm just says what comes in my head.
Oh, don't give me that. Don't do that. I'm not rude. It's what comes in me head.
That's a rubbish excuse.
Not
know
rude.
me, know my ways.
Yeah.
Right, am I wrong then? Let's look at it. Let's look at what I said.
Hey, there's Nouts Obama's cakes. Know me, know my ways. Get out, you twiddle flunt. What is that? What sort of philosophy is that? Know me, I'm rude, and take it or leave
I'm not
it.
being rude.
You are being rude!
What, saying that all babies look the same?
It's your nephew! You didn't even bother to have a look. You could have been courteous and had a look at the picture.
If it was a first, I'd say fair enough, but she's got loads of kids.
Oh, fair enough.
Putting the Welsh into room 101.
What, because she didn't like him and that?
Yeah, she just said, well, they're going in the,
She said it slightly more eloquently than that.
Yeah.
I can the people or the place?
I don't know.
I think it was the place and therefore the people.
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah?
No, well, you know, my mum and dad have sort of moved from Manchester. They reside now in Wales.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And it is.
Look at his face, turning his nose up.
No, but it is pretty depressing. Do you know what I mean? It's just one of them places that it's like you go back in time and that when you go there. I mean, maybe the major cities there, maybe Cardiff is all right.
What? Even coming from Manchester, it's like going back in time.
It's just it's like one of them places that it feels like every day is Sunday. Do you know what I mean? It's just depressing and grey and slate
Lots of
everywhere.
vicars walking around going, I'm late.
Well, yeah, it is the sort of attitude they have, right? This is true because my mum and dad live there and that, right? And they love it. It's all right. It's an healthy place to go when you get older and that. But this is why they don't move on in Wales.
Well, I'd just like to make another sorry to any Welsh people listening. We're not saying you don't move on. Karl is.
No, but
sorry about the little Chinese shoes again.
the thing
as well.
is, it's good that in a way that they do that, and they don't want to be like, you know, rushing about everywhere because the way London isn't that great either, is it? Because it's totally opposite here, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not having a go. It is a bit dull. I think even people who live there will agree with me.
Okay.
Right? But like one of the shops that my mum and dad use, right? It's only a little sort of villagey type shop. They can't be bothered staying open for hours and hours, right? Because there's not enough people use the shop.
Yeah.
So what you do is they get used to what you buy.
They
And
leave it out.
They put it in a phone box outside.
They put it in a phone box?
Yeah.
So it doesn't get wet.
So my dad's loving that.
Well,
Once he
yeah.
found that out, it was like, brilliant.
But how is that a bad thing? That's brilliant.
Well, it's not for other people, it is for my dad, because he's picking up all sorts of stuff.
Oh,
Chickens.
no, he's not.
Oh, yeah.
He's not nicking other people's shopping.
Well, it's not like nicking, is it, because it's not theirs yet.
Oh! And you've stitched him up on radio.
Well, of course, because they're going to think, who is there in town with a Manc accent?
Who
hangs around a lot, yeah.
keeps making phone calls. And he's getting fatter.
Yeah.
That's
You stitched him
I
right
love
up
that.
there,
I
Karl.
love that your dad was excited when he found out.
I can't believe that he's moved there. He's retired to this little village where it's based on trust and community, and he is abusing it. He's using his scally Manc ways.
Bloody hell, Lakers. There's no bread again.
There's old women
Was
going
empty.
hungry.
Yeah.
Their cats aren't getting fed, and your father is just. I can't. That's obscene. That's obscene.
Oh, I think it's Die Thief. That fella from Manchester.
I don't even think they've got Sky there yet, have they? They can't listen. They won't know what's.
I think you stitched him right up. I hope you have, actually. I hope he goes down for it. I hope he's hounded out of the community like Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah.
They should get burning torches, go up to the
Set fire to his cottage.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right, well.
He's out of the choir.
Yeah.
Karl's also nervous. You had a bit of shock last week, didn't you?
Just a little bit.
His dad tuned in.
To the show?
Yeah. And Karl's never told him that he actually speaks on the show. He just said, I just press the buttons, right? He's kept him from it. You used to do radio before and you never told him, did you? It's because of the little donkey incident.
Yeah.
When he went along, so...
Was that the twat incident?
Yeah. And so he's never told him since, but they've promised not to listen, haven't they?
Well, my dad said, my mum said to me, don't worry, don't be put off this week, because, you know, I've told him he can't listen, but I hear my dad in the background kind of going, bollocks, So, he might be listening. So that's extra pressure. Plus a camera crew in.
I know. You don't like it, do you?
This is good training for MTV, because then he can watch you on TV. I mean, what's he going to make of that?
Oh.
Yeah.
Does he know you're bald?
Yeah.
You don't keep your hat on when you're with him and say, oh no, I'll just press the buttons.
No, it's just, you know, it's like when I was in any plays, I didn't tell him.
No.
Any sort of parents' evening, I never gave him the note.
Really?
Yeah.
So what did the teachers think? You were just an orphan?
No, just on an off chance. My mate's dad spoke to me dad once, I think, and sort of said, oh, you going to school to see how, you know, your kid's doing? Is that what you're talking about? So there's a parents' evening, so he went
said, what kid?
He went to one, and that's when Mrs. Matthews said I'd never be a high flyer.
How wrong was she?
Yeah.
Well, I think we should call Mrs. Matthews and make her eat her words.
Well.
She'd turn on to MTV when, I don't know, like their slamming session.
Yeah.
And they go, that's young Pilkington. He's bald, but it's definitely him.
I recognise that woolly hat.
Thought another one I like as well. I was saying, you may as well be hung for a sheep as a lamb.
I've never heard, I don't think I've heard that. I have heard, but I don't think I've ever used it in common parlance.
Well, it's like, if you're going to do something, you know, you might as well go the whole hog, depending on the outcome. Because it's based on reality. That's why I like it, because obviously the poor people used to poach, and if they were caught stealing, you know, a sheep or anything, they would be hung. So if you're going to get caught, don't steal a lamb, you know, at least feed your family for a few weeks.
Right, sure.
Kill a sheep.
Yeah.
Actually hung for killing a sheep.
Oh. Your dad would be in trouble, down in Wales, stealing stuff from that, from that phone box.
Well, he has a couple of sayings, right?
Your father?
Yeah, I've never asked him what they mean.
Why would you? Ask Suzanne.
One is, don't try and teach your granny to suck eggs.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
That means, it's patronising to, of course I know that. You're talking to someone who knows more about this subject than you.
But how did that happen then? How did that saying come about?
Well, it's not. It's a totally made up thing. It's like your granny sucks eggs, doesn't she? Because she's older than you, and it's probably a lost art or something.
Right. And the other one,
Sucks eggs?
Sucks eggs, yeah.
Sucks eggs. Sorry, I thought you said something else.
Don't nudge your granny when she's shaving.
What?
Sorry?
Don't nudge your granny while she's shaving.
Don't nudge your... Sorry, say
Well,
that slower, I can't...
Don't
nudge your granny when she's having a shave.
Well, what is that in context? Because I can't work out what the analogy is there, because that might just be you when you were little, you used to run up to your granny while she was shaving or something.
But why is your granny shaving?
Well, no, what context is that said in? Tell me the last time your dad ever said that, and I'll try and work out what it means.
Can't remember. I don't know.
Are you sure these aren't specific to your granny?
Yeah, I was to say, were you nudging your granny? She was going, get lost, Karl.
She was shaving off her moustache.
Or giving herself a Brazilian.
That's grotesque. Suck an egg. Try and get that instead.
God. That's made it worse. Karl's granny sucking eggs. Well, that is
herself a Brazilian. We've no idea. I don't know what that means. Don't nudge your granny while she's shaving. What,
Yeah.
parmesan?
Well, I was telling you one about when I used to go with my dad in the taxi.
Oh, yeah,
Why,
tell
what
us this
happened?
story.
Well,
Your father was a taxi driver?
my dad he had loads of jobs, which he did back then. And they don't do that anymore, do they? People they don't sort
Have
of
a
do
variety of
loads of
jobs?
stuff.
Sure.
But at one point, he had a black cab, and I used to go with him. Used to get a beer crate and put it in the front of the black cab, and sort of sit just next to the meter. And anyway, we got this call, and like the guy on the end of the radio said, "Oh, you've got your son with you, haven't you?" So he said, "Yeah." So it's just like, we've got to pick up at number 11 Village Lane or whatever. And he said, all right. And it was this woman. It was like a woman version of the Elephant Man.
Wow. The Elephant Woman.
Yeah, it looked like... it looked like... It was really strange, because I was in the front of the cab, and when you're a kid, if something looks odd, you're a bit scared of it, aren't you?
Yeah.
And my dad was like, look, it'll be all right. And we're driving towards her.
Look at her, don't worry, son, I've got loads of buns.
And just to
I
give
think I'll
you-
just throw one down the street if you run after
You're
it.
being mean, right?
I am a little bit, yeah.
How old were you, 18?
No, I was about 12 or something like that, 11, 12. And as we got closer to her, it looked like she was holding like a bag of spuds on her shoulder,
For a snack.
Right.
and her head was all a bit mangled and messy and that. And my dad said, whatever you do, don't stare at her face.
Yeah.
And she got in the
Because
back.
you turn into stone.
She got in the back, and I had like the mirror, the driver's mirror thing, and sort of having a look, trying to work out. And I mean, he said, don't stare at her face. I couldn't work out where her face was. It was that weird.
Oh, God.
So I'm not sure you're from Manchester. I think you're from, like, Narnia or something.
Yeah, you got frog boys walking around.
The Lord
like,
of the Rings.
That got like the claws of a lobster and the head of a toad.
Yeah.
And you got women getting in with spuds for heads. I mean, what
This is
sort
not
of what
Manchester.
is
This is not
place?
the place you grew up. This is
Yeah.
mad.
Oh, you can't believe it in London, can you? You come down and go, look, symmetry. It must be amazing.
It must be a thing to do with upbringing now, mustn't it? And because, again, do you know, I've said to you before, years ago, when I was a kid and didn't have any worries, good-looking lad, you go through it a bit, have a few more worries, and you look knackered. Now, back there's a lot more worries and stuff, so you get a lot more freaks. Whereas in London, everyone's like happy, aren't they? Got
I
loads
love
of
the
money.
fact that stress can cause your fingers to fuse and your heads to grow.
No, but if
She must have been really stressed to have a head like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. She what was?
Like
Yeah, was she an accountant or something?
you know what I mean.
But what did she do? What did she say?
Where
when
was she
got in?
going, by the way?
She couldn't speak.
London Zoo, please.
I think she was going to like a
To the
pet
fair.
shop. Seriously, honest to God. On my mum's life, she was. Because at the end of the day, that's a good thing with animals. They don't judge you, do they?
She's not
She
an
was an
animal.
animal. She's a human
She's
being.
not actually an elephant.
No, but
You know the Elephant Man was not actually an elephant. You understand that? He's got no elephant genes in him at all.
No.
That was just a cruel name people gave him.
Yeah.
No, it's the name of the disease, isn't it? Elephantitis.
Look, so listen. So this woman, why was she going to a pet shop?
She was going to a pet shop. What, to find a husband?
Like, play a song.
Is this true?
No, it is true, yeah.
Oh,
But
God.
I'm not taking the mickey because it must be
So,
really bad for
Of
you.
course it
But
is.
Karl, I
we
need to
haven't.
ask.
I'm going on to you today about cutting myself shaving.
Yeah.
I was going on about that. To think that she's probably not alive now, but to think,
But you're saying that you're going to say this is a worse problem than a little cut shaving, aren't you?
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I
The
think
things
you're
that
right.
Karl,
you worry about.
there's a couple of key questions I need to ask. One, if she couldn't talk,
Yeah.
how did she tell your father where to drive it? Did she have it
Probably
written on
got
a
some
note?
help
Did she
for at
point
home.
with her nose?
Yeah.
Right, this has got silly. Pick your song.
But and also, finally, where did you say she lived again?
It was like in a village, a little small village.
Right.
Just hidden out of the way.
All I'm saying is we could maybe get like some sort of coach, book some coaches, get a coach party up there to have a look at her.
So
Take some photos.
And now
You can make some lemonade.
the offspring of a woman and some spuds.
Yeah.